oftentimes don't take credit for things that your generation does. So
I think I'm a different. I think I was born.
Everybody thinks they're different.
No, but I've been told by multiple people as recently as Friday that I was born.
You could be born in the wrong generation.
You've said this to me before.
Everyone says this about everyone.
I think I actually match the description. I'm famous.
You think you're special?
I famously like just kind of being alone at a bar with nobody to talk to. I famously like not using the apps.
All right, we've established you're very different.
Yep.
All right, so
wildly different.
What's up with your generation and feet?
Some people love them, man. Some people really like them.
But my question is why?
Well, they found out my generation.
We already know some people really.
My generation has an apps obsession, and I think a lot of generations do. But my generation really loves bragging about how much money they make. Like that's a big and like everybody, if you're not making money, people are always telling you how to make money. And the feet market has become an actual way to make money.
Oh,
and so people have really invested in the feet market, whether it be someone who's taking their own feet pics or they're
is that a generational
pimp.
thing? Telling people how much money you make? I feel like that's a pretty common deal.
No, that's what I'm saying. That is but like my generation is always on Instagram or Twitter being like, get your bread up. You know,
ascribe to really, you don't really talk about it. Philosophy of things.
I don't know. Maybe,
definitely.
Maybe I'm off, but my generation loves talking about how much money they make. They love talking about and how.
Because I always feel like your generation is talking about how much money they don't make.
I think
there's
talking
about what they can't buy
a house.
There's the normal people who are like that, and then there are people who are chronically online who are always bragging about.
Yeah,
how much
you
money
are the
they
chronically
have.
online generation.
Yeah, and so there's a little bit of both.
I'm gonna Google some generational descriptors and see what they come. It's almost like a horoscope.
Matt, do you think influencers are real people?
No,
Okay.
I don't. I can't scan them.
Okay.
I can't scan. And it is tough though when I do know somebody. This has happened to me twice now. I've known people who in my life who then became quote unquote influencers.
Sure.
And it's really weird to see the personality shift in terms of everything has to be documented. Everything has to be posted. They have to brag about everything. You know, they oftentimes are like,
exhausting.
They're oftentimes like, I look this way or I do this one thing or whatever it might be. And they're consistently telling people how great they are at it and how they should do it too.
Again, just seems exhausting.
Both the people that I knew that became influencers became fitness influencers.
Even more.
And it's just like
physical exertion.
One of them I unfollowed. I'm like, I'm done with this. I'm done with this. This is not
So
the
they're
person
not like
I know.
a close enough friend where you have to continue to care about them?
Great question. Neither of them were.
Okay.
Neither of them were. But they were people.
They just women that you stalked in college?
One of them was a woman and one of them was a guy.
Okay.
Guy I was definitely closer to than the girl.
Did you introduce them to each other and
no, I
try
have
and
not.
make something happen?
I would never know.
Matchmaker.
Ooh, influence crossover?
Matt McMatchmaker.
Is that a thing that happens in the influencer land, crossovers? Do they
all the time? Yeah, but they do
always collabing.
but they always do it to like
collaboration.
They're always and they're trying to up their clout because they know if they collab, they're getting different audiences.
They're all dumb.
Yeah, they're trying to get their clout up.
They call it hanging out, basically collab.
Basically, you know, like how back in the day, like they would, you know,
all of this.
The Spaniard princess would marry like, you know, a king of Netherlands, right? Like they'd pair up in order to make their kingdom stronger.
Sure.
That's what influencers do now. You know, a cooking influencer is like to make my kingdom more whole, I must marry a cooking influencer.
The older I
or a
get,
fitness influencer.
The more I think that Ron Swanson had it right.
Yeah,
he's the guy who liked meat a lot in Parks and Rec,
but
right?
like also you don't need to know anything about me, where I live, what I like, what I don't like. I'm going to be a hermit. I'm going to have a cabin in the woods.
You just go against where society's going, and he was all over that. And I kind of feel like I sort of want to be that. I don't want to be entirely that, but I want to know less about everyone.
That is absolutely true.
I agree with
and
that.
I think you are, what your generation maybe doesn't realize is that they're actually in control of how much information they give out about themselves.
Yeah.
Like, man, I see some crazy stuff on TikTok. Like, what are you saying about yourself right now?
But
I get it on the crossover.
I can't believe this.
I can't sit here and act like I don't do that on this radio
but I
show,
don't think they know what they're doing. Like
you think, okay, I agree with that.
Maybe they'll look back at this in 10 years and be like, oh my God, I said that out loud.
Yeah.
I got 12 follows for that.
I agree. I think that I agree that there are moments where I'm like, okay, I'm playing the game here. You know, like this will be funny. This will get a reaction.
Black Cat writes in.
I'm sure I'll think about that someday in my life, though. I'm sure that in 10 years, I'll be like, oh my God, I can't believe I told Happer and Schaefer that on the air.
Probably.
Black Cat says, I made a 5-minute song about winning 2 bets, but my generation won't stop bragging.
Okay.
It's fascinating.
3-minute song. And it was a good bit. It was a very funny bit.
Played it multiple times.
It was a great bit. And that's my job. That's my, I get paid.
The bit is your job?
It was, I had a show where I made like 5 predictions. And I got them all
It's
right.
when he did the mariachi.
And you made a song about it?
I did the mariachi song.
Remember, he can't just say it like a normal person.
Josh, do you still have it? Do you still have the song?
I never heard this before.
You have heard this.
Oh, this is great now. The crossover, we all can have our headphones on at once, so we don't have to turn off our microphones.
I think you may not have heard it.
I haven't heard it. I haven't heard nothing.
I think Severe was on.
I was listening to the segment when it debuted. And Josh
I don't know why I'm making a bunch of predictions today. I don't know why I feel like I'm in the mood to predict everything.
It's good for us. I'm not going to stop.
Typically, it gets me in trouble. It gets me in trouble. I will predict right now. Tonight's game 7 between Montreal and Buffalo goes into overtime. My prediction. Vegas Golden Knights versus Colorado. I'll make a prediction to you right now. Vegas wins tonight at Colorado. Whoa. Come on. We will see. I think the Thunder win against the San Antonio Spurs. OKC will have a good 8 to 12 lead for a good part of this game. I don't know why I'm making a bunch of predictions today. I don't know why.
All right.
What? We didn't get to the Kentucky Derby part.
I didn't even know what you were saying. You made 4 hockey predictions. Who cares?
Got them all right, though.
All right, that's the crossover.
Got to celebrate your wins.
All right. See you guys.
See ya.
So I went to parents.com and they did generational descriptors.
What a segue.
So
they say I'm great at making segues.
Millennials, here's his description.
Can't believe you didn't let the song play out. You didn't even get to the best part.
What's the best part?
It's when I predicted the Kentucky Derby winner.
Have you, ignoring this, have you been to parents.com before?
No.
You were just like, I'm going to go to parents.
I Googled it, and this is my source.
Did you Google parents.com?
I Googled.
Great question.
I Googled.
How'd you get there?
Generational descriptions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that crazy.
Significantly less interesting, but
hey.
I was like, is this bookmarked for Happer?
I will say the song was better when I was dancing and screaming during it, as opposed to just playing it cold
open. I was listening,
open.
Josh was attempting to dance every time it played, and you guys played it 3 straight times.
But that's coming back, by the way, during the football season.
I do love the song, though. I think you kind of ruined it, but I love
what did parents.com say, Happer?
So here's the millennial description, according to parents.com. Millennials lived through 9/11, people forget. Remember when Amazon only sold books, people forget, and are also the first generation to know a childhood both with and without internet, which now plays a significant role in their personal lives. While boomers may accuse millennials of being self-centered and impatient due to their excessive use of technology.
That's a pot calling the kettle black.
Interesting, huh? This generation has proven to be incredibly community-oriented and environmentally conscious, traits that are being picked up by their children. When it comes to parenting, millennials are more likely than prior generations to encourage their children to, this is another way to say that, live as their authentic selves. And they're leading the moment to help gender nonconforming kids be happy with who they are, Carr points out. Some millennial parents who were helicoptered over in their youth are taking on a freer approach to parenting, allowing their children to explore and create without constant structure or supervision.
Soft.
Interesting. Here's Gen Z. This is you. I realize in this, there was like 3 paragraphs on the millennials. There's only one on yours.
Huh. What is that?
We're still learning information.
We still are gathering a lot of information. Anything about feet in my description?
Gen Z kids are the first to be born into a world where they know nothing besides constant connection to one another, albeit through phones, screens, and tablets. However, like millennials before them, Gen Zers are often environmentally conscious, inclusive, and accepting of others, and extremely politically aware. That is definitely true.
That is true.
Despite many of them not yet being of voting age.
I will say that there is, and like Nick does talk about it. He describes it very poorly, but like there is the difference. Like I have a cousin who she was born in 2016, and she only knows like iPad and only knows like iPhone.
I
8,
know iPad.
like and stuff like that. Where I being born,
I am iPad.
I being born in 2002, 14 years before her.
You are not iPad.
I'm not. I mean, I remember when the iPad came out, and I had a VCR and I had VHS tapes.
I am VSR,
and I do
VCR.
remember like having an iPod, not a touch, but like a literal like just the little tune,
The
thing,
normal iPod.
the normal iPod. And so there is
Did you have a Nano?
my
You have a shuffle?
aunt did. My aunt Raquel did. And it was really cool. She'd run and she had the little iPod Nano. We thought it was the coolest thing ever. So it's like, you know, we had to buy DVDs. I remember when Netflix was like, they mail you DVDs.
Do you remember
and stuff
popcorn
like
chicken
that.
from KFC?
I do. I
Yeah.
do. My dad loved the popcorn chicken. at
Me too.
KFC.
I do too.
It
like-
came back.
And now it's
So
back.
there is a slight difference between like
You
me.
remember Blockbuster?
I did go to a Blockbuster. I do remember going to a Blockbuster
Whoa.
once. I do remember actually renting out video games for my library. Like we'd go to the Skokie Public Library and there was a video game that I wanted to play, and I would like rent it out.
There's
so there were
definitely, to your point, there's definitely generational differences inside a generation.
1,000,000%.
I have
a million.
I have a prediction while we're on this real quick. Blockbuster's coming back.
Whoa.
Oh, you okay?
The
I love
physical
this
media
take.
honks are
I
gonna
love
bring it back.
Yes.
this take.
Blockbuster's coming back.
I think I love this take.
A
because
version of Blockbuster, probably using the same name, Blockbuster, is coming.
I
back.
love this take.
I'm not quite dead set on that, but I believe that a version of Blockbuster is coming back. Put it on the board.
I think this is a great prediction because I think there's the whole idea of like going back to the way things were is going to be a very popular
The
thing.
physical media thing. It's
taken off right now. Somebody's going to make a lot of money off of it.
think about
It'll
how
fail.
much money they would get out of Josh
It'll-
Peterson.
It's a fad.
It'll
How
be
much
a
money
million.
would they get from Josh Peterson?
Schaefer's so right
It's a
though.
fad.
It'll be the hottest thing for 3 years.
Well, I don't even know about the Blockbuster aspect of it. The physical media part of it, it feels like just this sort of societal fad that will pass in a couple years and everyone will go back to
Well,
needing it all
millennials,
digitally.
really?
I
Yeah.
love Blockbuster
I
as
think
much
so.
as everybody, but nobody remembers the bad things about Blockbuster, like when you would take the DVD home and it would be scratched and you were screwed, or when you'd go and they didn't have any movie that you wanted to watch.
Yeah, but I
Like,
guarantee you there would be somebody who wants that back. There would
Oh,
be somebody who
sure.
wants
if
that
they
feeling
opened
back.
one, I'd go.
I think it would last 2 years.
I think
it'd be very popular.
it sounds really good that you want physical media, but then you realize the amount of space that everything takes up and that it has to be, you know, like somewhat cataloged and organized and all of it. And people certainly are attracted.
But
to
that's
that
the thing.
aspect of it.
People, I mean, stuff is back too.
Sure.
You know, stuff.
But like all things are cyclical.
Stuff is so back.
People are going to want to have it gone again. They're going to
That
want to
is
have
true.
space.
Now,
Everything is cyclical.
okay, but like, we're going to go through the cycle. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's coming back. Of course, it will die again because it died the first time. But it's
Do
like
you have friends
it's like
in your life-
dinosaurs.
Do you have friends in your life that like
Wait.
ran out and
Time out. When did dinosaurs come back?
They're
When
back.
did they come back?
Did
When
you
did
see
they
the
return?
movies?
I don't
never
see.
saw
I don't see them
Jurassic Park.
walking around on Dodge. I
Going
didn't
on
see.
to Lawrence and Gardens.
I don't
There's-
remember the 3 years
there's
where a
dinosaurs
Stegosaurus just came back and then another meteor
Yeah.
hit. When did dinosaurs return?
I saw some stuff. I mean, you could talk to Josh's kid, the fossils, you know?
They've
Was it-
been they haven't left since 1993.
Dinosaurs have not returned. All right, they have not come back. I'm not going to be called a madman because of this. Did you agree though that there are 3 types of kids: space kids, dinosaur kids, and train kids?
Yeah, I came up with like 4 more different kinds of kids.
Okay,
but
can we add to it?
Yeah,
What-
state capitals kids.
I've never met a state capital.
You
kid.
never knew a kid
Okay.
who could name all the state capitals?
I know a guy who can name all the interstates.
That is a
I
different
bet
kind
he can
of
name the
good.
state capitals.
Yeah,
too.
I bet he could. I bet he
Joey,
could.
come in here right now.
I think third grade Mike Shaver could name all the state capitals.
Yeah, I'm way worse at state capitals now than I
Oh,
was
yeah.
in
Oh,
like fifth
I
grade.
think
Well,
I
my
know
value
5.
system, it was a much more important thing to know.
All I cared about was state capitals.
I think I know
Like
3.
Carson City.
Jefferson
City.
Jefferson
Missouri.
City,
Yeah.
Springfield, and Lincoln. Those are the 3 capitals that I know for sure.
So you were not a state capitals kid.
Absolutely not.
What were you again?
I was a space kid.
Space.
More specifically, Star Wars. I was
Okay.
fictional space, not NASA space. There is a subsect of space.
So that's not astronaut kid.
That's not astronaut.
You did
kid.
not want to be an astronaut.
No.
What did you want to be when you grew
a
up?
broadcaster.
Like
that-
before that?
No.
Like,
Get there someday.
What a dweeb.
Before
No,
that,
but-
when
but-
there was only in your mind when there was only like
Ben
4
Wallace.
professions.
Ben Wallace.
It was either athlete,
Yeah.
police officer, firefighter, astronaut, and like bus driver.
Zookeeper.
And bus driver's great. It's so true though.
That's it.
It's 1,000,000%. No, I wanted to be Ben Wallace. I'm
Okay,
not
so you wanna
kidding.
be an athlete.
My first jersey I ever bought was a Ben Wallace Bulls jersey.
Did
number
you want
3.
the hair?
I wanted everything about him. I was like, this guy's the coolest cat ever. And my dad was like, hey, you just won an NBA championship.
Was he your first favorite athlete?
Yes.
Okay.
Him and Ben Gordon.
Oh, Ben Gordon, the Bens.
Yes. I love Ben Wallace and
Ben
Ben Gordon
boys.
because that was like my first
Most
like
people focus on Eric Gordon.
that.
but you're
Those
Ben Gordon.
those were my first Bulls teams, and Ben
Or
Wallace was
James
only on
Gordon.
the Bulls for half a season. So this is like I just came
Do you remember
to
Ben Wallace as a bull?
for half a season because I just came to. My mind just turned on, and the first thing I saw was Ben Wallace.
That's a great question. When did your sports brain turn on?
It was that. It was that in the 2008 Chicago Cubs. That's just really when it all happened. So what's Capital Kids? Were the 3 other ones?
I tweeted at you that day. I can't remember what they were.
There's definitely like animals kids, like kids that just know animals facts.
trucks and cars kids.
Oh, yeah.
Trucks and Cars Kids are a great one.
Trucks and cars kids.
Trucks and Cars Kids is a massive.
Those kids are intimidating because they'll like
They are.
start telling me about cars and I know nothing about cars. And they're like, this is this, and
They'll-
this is this.
They'll start
How
telling
about
you.
action-
The 7-year-old will tell you have a carburetor.
How about
problem.
action
You're like, what the
figures
hell's
kids?
going
Yeah,
on?
he'd be right.
And he'd be totally. You'd have to believe him.
Action figures kids. Power Rangers kids.
You know what? I do think that there's less
gotta
of
be
this.
crossover there.
There's less of this now, but like the WWE action figures kids, Josh Odson.
There's
and you
definitely
can-
wrestling
I had
kids.
There's,
Yeah.
but wrestling kids like you, I think it kind of ease in. It depends on your dad. Like if your dad's a wrestling dad, then you're a wrestling.
My
kid.
dad
That's
hated
happening.
wrestling.
My dad hated wrestling too. I got into it organically. I got into it because Netflix would have WWE matches when Netflix first came out. Like first was on like digital devices. It had old WWE
Well,
matches.
I didn't know that.
And I would watch them. I watched the Hardy Boys versus Edge and Christian and the Dudley Boys on an iPad.
The boys
Mine
are
was just,
talking.
it was societally like the biggest thing in the world
Yeah.
in 1997. So, the kids were talking about it in 3rd grade. So I was interested.
The boys are talking about their
Oh,
favorite
Owen
blockbuster
is
locations.
spot on. Matt was a Star
Love it.
Wars: The Clone Wars animated series kid. I watched Star Wars: The Clone Wars when it was on Disney XD, coming out episodically. That was like
What's Disney XD?
Disney XD was like the in between you're no longer a kid and you can watch Disney, but like
There's
Disney
a whole separate
wanted.
channel for this.
It was like
Yeah.
tweens. It was
Deep
like
cable.
tweens for Disney.
Whoa.
It was like
That sounds terrible.
it was like
what did they do?
episode 71
Wait.
or
This sounds
channel 71.
Weird. What did they do? Like who was on there?
Kick Batowski was on Disney XD. Star
Were
Wars.
there like
What is
chicks
that?
that you liked on there?
No, not really. It was no. There
Was
was
it all animated?
Was Vanessa Hudgens on there?
no.
Okay.
She was not on there. But Sabrina
She was on
Carpenter
regular
was on
Disney?
Girl Meets World, and I was just getting out of Disney when she came on.
Wait, Girl Meets World?
Yeah, that was a show.
Yeah, that was a show on Disney.
Yeah, that did happen.
Yeah, but like 4 years ago.
No. This was Girl Meets World was
I'm
like
gonna
2014.
I'm gonna guess this started in
2014.
probably later.
I-
I'm gonna guess 17.
I know I didn't have a kid when the show came out.
Girl Meets World started in 2014 and went to 2017.
Wow.
What the hell?
I'm
My
telling you.
life is a lie.
I'm telling you. They had so Disney XD now it says it has Phineas and Ferb. Phineas and Ferb was on the original Disney. It was also on XD. They had Gravity Falls. That was like a fun little cartoon show that was like it was a little crass, but it was still like a kid show. You don't know any of this. Lab Rats was a great one.
I don't know. Any of
They
the
had
words
a
you're
really
saying.
None of these
they had
words
a
make any
very
sense.
good looking woman on.
I know
Rats.
kids shows from my time, and I know kids shows from right now.
Yep.
Kicking it.
Nope.
That was like a karate
Okay.
show. They were trying to get back to like Mr. Miyagi.
Before you go further down this hole.
Yeah, go ahead. We can get out of it
One
immediately. By the way,
no. One of the questions that I had, we were originally going to get into the crossover until I found out that you're part of the feet generation. Is I wondered, like, what were your like sports movies when you were a kid? Because I was discussing.
Oh, that was what the question was. Yeah.
I was discussing with Happer, like, when we were young, we were in the best generation of like kids sports movies imaginable, because you had a run of. I was talking about this. Is how it came
All
up
the
because I was
90s
talking about
sports
Angels in the
movies.
outfield. But you have that. You have Little Giants. You have Sandlot. You have all of these things.
Little
But
Big
then
League.
we looked
Rookie
up
of the Year.
we looked up sports movies from 2000.
You
what?
got nothing.
Yeah.
Desolate Wasteland.
no, I have
You
two.
were in the wasteland of sports movies.
So my sports movies were your sports movies.
Yeah.
Because
Your sports movies.
but my sports movies
You
are
had
I have
sports movie
two.
hand-me-downs.
I have two.
So we estimated. Can we guess first?
Go ahead.
We estimated that like peak kids sports movie watching age for you would have happened around the year 2009.
Yep.
All right.
Great job.
And so
Great job.
not long
Exactly.
after that,
So we did a search.
Moneyball came out.
Can I write down though the two? I
Yeah,
want
go
to
for
see
it.
if you guess this.
Classic kids
I'm
movie
gonna
Moneyball.
No, that's what we determined.
But,
There
but
was that-
it's my favorite movie of all time.
I understand this. We determined that he missed the golden age of any sort of kids sports movies.
Yeah.
Because all of his are stuff like $1 Million
It's all
Baby.
very serious and heavy
Or-
stories.
yeah.
And the other one, the one movie that I saw that came out in 2009 that I'm pretty sure is on whatever you just wrote down, The Blind Side.
I did not write it down, but The Blind Side was. But that's not really like a
So you see
kid's.
the difference between
It's
The Blind
not a
Side
kid's
and
movie.
It's not a kids
No.
movie.
That
the
is
difference
a-
between The Blind Side and Little Giants is significant.
I grew up with Ladybugs,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
isn't even a kids movie.
Now-
It's really raunchy.
I remember. I
movie.
went to The Blind
Not
Side.
appropriate.
I went to The Blind Side on opening night with my dad and our entire family. I loved the movie, and it was great. But that's not like that's like I had to learn like what adoption was in that movie. You know, like I had to
I
learn.
know.
Like I had to
That's
learn
our point.
the inner workings of adoption. and
That's our
whatnot.
point.
Like, and
that's why we think you're in the desolate
Like-
wasteland.
like kids like.
So
When
do
I
you
was
have-
6 years old when that happened, when that movie came out, like kids just being left on the street to like somebody to take care of them, like that wasn't in my mind.
is
at
there
6 years
any
old.
examples of
So I have
kids
two.
whimsical sports movies?
I have two. Air Bud, the football version.
so you had a sequel.
There was a
like
basket.
a 14th sequel.
There was a basketball,
Well,
version
Air
of Air
Bud,
Bud.
that's one.
Okay,
Yeah, that
Air
was
Bud, the
97.
football
Yeah,
version
that came out in the
was
90s.
my favorite. I loved Air Bud football.
Okay,
Okay.
awesome. What was that movie called? Do we remember?
I
They all
don't
had fun names.
know.
I believe it was Golden Receiver.
That's right. That's right.
Unbelievable.
That's right.
Absolutely unbelievable.
The second one, which I did have,
That's right.
on-
It came out in
Air-
1998.
Air
Golden
Bud
Receiver.
Golden Receiver.
And
It
I-
came out 4
1998.
years before you were even born.
And then the second one that I had, which I had on DVD and the director's cut, and had like things that got left out of the movie that I would watch. Like I had all the bonus footage of this movie.
Yeah.
The Game Plan with Dwayne The Rock Johnson and Madison Pettis.
Okay, is that where he's a tooth fairy or some sort?
No. That's not the Tooth Fairy. That's that movie.
Well, that's an actual movie.
Now the Tooth Fairy he's a hockey player in that
Okay.
movie, and he becomes the Tooth Fairy. The Game
It's time
Plan.
for Josh's favorite segment, which is I read the Google description of this movie.
Yeah.
Bachelor football star Joe Kingman
Joe Kingman
seems to have it all.
number one on the field, number one in your heart, baby.
He is wealthy and carefree, and his team is on the way to capturing a
His
championship.
team is
But
the Boston Rebels.
Suddenly, he is tackled by some unexpected news. He has a young daughter.
Had no
The
idea.
result of the last fling with his ex-wife, Joe must learn to balance his personal and professional lives with the needs of his child.
Exactly. There's the ballerina in that movie. What's her name? She was gorgeous in that movie.
The ballerina was gorgeous.
This woman,
Rosalind.
Sanchez,
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, she is. It's legitimately very
stunning in that movie. I was 9-year-old Matt
Kyra
was taken
Sedgwick
aback.
is in this movie.
Madison Pettis is in it. She was great in that movie.
I don't know who Madison Pettis is.
Am
I supposed to?
She was like the darling of Disney when I was younger. She was like the its child actor
She's
when I was younger.
27.
Yeah, she was 3 years older than me
What have
when
I
this.
seen her in? I know that name.
She I think dated some famous people,
I don't
and
care
that's
about
the most
people.
notable
Man,
thing
you
she's
know I
done
don't
since
care
then.
about that.
I know, but I'm telling you what she's still famous for.
I asked what she was in, not who she dated.
I'm
Your
telling you, I
generation-
don't think she's
Your
in
generation
anything.
cares about these things. I
No,
do
but
not.
I'm telling you, I don't think she's in anything that you would know other than she dated some famous people.
I'm
She's
looking
great.
at
She was in that Lab Rat show that you talked about.
Lab Rats was cool.
Kicking
She
and
was
Screaming.
Pounds with Will Smith.
She also was in Corey in the House, which is about Corey, who was Raven Simone's brother, and that's
the
so
spinoff.
Raven.
Yeah.
And then Corey goes to the White House.
So Kicking and Screaming came out in 2005. The Will Ferrell. Did you see that?
No.
Okay, that was all right. Let's see. I'm looking at
Not missing anything there.
Invincible 2006.
Oh, I love it. Invincible's a great
Whoa.
movie. What do you mean? Vince
Whoa.
Papali? What do you who's your favorite? Who's your favorite giant? Sam Huff. Everybody knows Sam Huff. Sam Huff.
Secretariat.
All-American.
2010.
What a great movie. Kentucky!
This is
Big
terrible.
Red ate his breakfast this morning, and you're about to see something you ain't never seen before.
We Are Marshall 2006.
I didn't see We Are Marshall.
It's fine.
Secretariat is has a deep spot in my heart. I love.
I feel bad
Secretariat.
for you, Matt. You got screwed.
This is terrible.
42 was a great one, but I don't think of those as like kids sport
Yeah, we
movies.
know
Those are
that's
just
That's what we're
good
saying.
kids
We're
sport
like,
movies.
oh, we have all these movies
talking
about
about-
race relations and,
Yeah.
and things like that. It's like, no, these are
I mean, Secretariat.
closest,
Secretariat is about a woman being taken seriously in sports. Like it's breaking through,
Where's
gender
the-
stereotypes.
I just want a little girl named Icebox to run people over
Right.
with a play called The Annexation of
Oh,
Puerto Rico.
The closest we got to this is Bertram really got into the 60s and nobody saw him again.
I
That's
want
the
a
closest we had to
9-year-old
society
to
commentary.
manage the Minnesota Twins.
When did the Mighty Ducks come out?
90s.
Yeah,
No,
Mighty
we-
Ducks too.
You
though.
can name a sport. There's a
Early
great movie
90s.
from the 90s that involved kids.
Yeah,
with
I
the
did.
sport.
I did
92.
not. I did not have that. Invincible though is a great. Papali to the 40 to the 30
You're not
to
even
the 10
able,
to the.
like, you missed out on stuff like Hardball.
I don't know what that is.
It was
Oh,
set in your
man.
city of Chicago with your
Keanu?
guy Keanu
I'm
Reeves.
just telling you right now. I'm now thinking I might watch Invincible tonight. That's such a good movie.
Look, he's not
That
even
is
listening to
so-
us.
That
I
is
know.
so. I just.
Well, it's his
I got
generation.
remi- I mean,
They're thinking
I
about
have.
feet and Mark Wahlberg
I
at
have
all
the.
times.
I have the Invincible soundtrack on my phone.
What in the hell?
Seriously.
and that's the crossover.
That's the crossover. Middays.
Dude, you got to go watch Hardball, dude.
I'm not going to. I'm going to watch Invincible.
It's
tonight.
hey, he's addicted to sports gambling.
Who's in it?
Michael
Keanu.
B. Jordan.
I'm
Ke-
okay.
Keanu.
And why did you say he's addicted to sports gambling? Like that would make me more apt to.
Well, it's
Well, would it
Chicago.
not?
It's Keanu Reeves. It involves baseball, which you hate.
And the reason, one of the, how he has to pay.
Stop! I don't
Listen.
hate baseball.
well, you're back in
Listen,
Nebraska now.
He has to pay off his debts by coaching a little league baseball team.
Isn't that just Bad News Bears?
But it's like
Kind of,
I mean, that's what Bad News
but
Bears.
very different.
Okay,
this is
more serious.
Hardball is very good.
It's an incredible movie.
I can't wait to watch Invincible.
You're
Michael
not
B.
gonna watch it.
Jordan.
Middays with Matt coming up next after the break here on the 1620 Zone Radio Network.
I'm good. I'm
Good. Okay. We had to think about it. We had to think.
Yeah,
We had to take a deep breath.
Ready to rule. I'm a step slow today.
That's okay. That's okay. We can have those days.
It's early though. We're a fourth quarter show.
We are a fourth quarter show, even though we use our timeouts in the third quarter here on Middays with Matt. The SEC Media Days are going on this week. Next week, we will have the Big Ten Media Days. This is peak talking season before we actually get into the real football, which will be happening a lot sooner than you think. We're only about, 10 to 11 days away from most teams beginning their fall camp. NFL training camp begins, Josh Onson, tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Whoa.
Not all 32 teams, a select group of teams begin their training camp tomorrow. Rookies for the Cardinals report tomorrow. Veterans also report tomorrow for the Cardinals. Rookies for the Buffalo Bills and the Carolina Panthers report today. Rookies for the Broncos report tomorrow. The Texans rookies are in the building along with the Dolphins and the Patriots. Veterans, like I said, only the veterans for the Arizona Cardinals report tomorrow. Most veterans across the league report next Monday. So we are here in football season. It's absolutely incredible. Josh Otson, we'll talk about the NFL in the honor of rookies reporting today and veterans of the Panthers and Cardinals reporting tomorrow. I'm going to tell you what my futures are for the NFL. I'm mulling over some Super Bowl futures. Okay. I'm mulling over. I'm just looking at some Super Bowl futures. I'm going to tell you.
Oh, Matt, you're just a sports radio guy. What could you possibly know about futures in the NFL?
Somebody did bet the Seattle Seahawks in December to win the Super Bowl, right? When they were plus
you did
1,000.
It one time late in the season. Surely you haven't done it consecutive years.
No, I haven't, because it's not like I placed a plus 800 ticket on the Eagles to win the Super Bowl the year before.
What?
Wow. And it's not like I bet the Indiana Hoosiers to make the college football playoff in the preseason. It's not like I'm one of the greatest future bettors in America, Josh Hodson.
I love that betting the Indiana Hoosiers to make the CFP last year was a bet that paid significantly, like
plus 650.
How did that surprise people?
They called me a madman, Josh Hodson, just like when I bet the Indiana Hoosiers going to win the national championship this year. They will also call me a madman. We will talk about college football. We will talk about the NFL. Like I said, I'll tell you the futures I am mulling over. We will talk about the SEC Media Days. Alex Golish. Do you know who that is, Josh Hodson?
I know the name. I know he's about to come to the podium.
Do you know who he coaches in the SEC? It's okay. Take your time. There might be some fans of his team that don't know that he's the head coach.
Who fired their coach last
year? There's a lot of SEC teams actually that fired their coaches. Which, by the way, that is the underrated part. When you rank like the SEC and the Big Ten, Big Ten overall has better coaches than the SEC right now. I don't think you can. He does coach Auburn. Very good. All right, bonus question. Wait. Don't get all excited. Trebek has another question for you. Who did he coach the year prior? Who was he the head coach of last season? It's another team in that area of the country, not in Alabama.
Tulane coach?
No, he's not the Tulane coach. He was the University of Southern Florida head coach.
Well, I had fun playing the game. Thanks,
everybody. South Florida had a really good sport year last year, by the way. Both their football team and their basketball team were good enough for their head coaches to take other jobs elsewhere. Brian Hodson, the head coach of Providence basketball, who the University of Nebraska will play this year at the Mohegan Sun. So it should be a good show. We'll talk about the SEC Media Days. It is not Lane Day, by the way. I was mulling over some different radio shows that cover college football. Everyone was asking, when does Lane speak? Kiff will be on the podium on Thursday. So that will be a lot of our Thursday programming. What crazy off-the-wall flamethrower things does Lane Kiffin say today? But we will talk about someone who I'm very interested in this season, Kirby Smart. We'll talk today at SEC Media Days.
Georgia's head coach.
I'm fascinated by Georgia. I really am. And, we had Ryan McGee on at the College World Series show. I absolutely love having Ryan on, and, hopefully we can we can use Josh Peterson to get Ryan on again at some point on Middays with Matt to have more of a conversation with him, because SEC is his territory in terms of the things that he reports on. And I remember asking him, and I go, I don't want to talk about LSU with you. And he goes, thank God, I'm done talking about Lane Kiffin. I go, I find Georgia fascinating this season. And, Ryan, who knows this stuff better than a lot of people, honestly, who cover the conference in the country, said, me too. There's a lot of people who are just fascinated to see what Georgia does, because Kirby has talked a lot this offseason, and not in the best of ways for the University of Georgia. He's talked, which, by the way, let me fix my camera here. I was getting really comfortable leaning back and posting, by the way.
You had the feet up, and
it's a great day. It's a Tuesday. Tuesdays are my favorite day of the week. I just keep telling myself that, so I'm more positive. But
okay.
Kirby has said a lot of interesting things this offseason. We've talked about some of these things on the show in terms of, him adjusting to the NIL era, him adjusting to not being in an era you can stockpile talent and where your depth is a lot less. Georgia not notable, honestly, notable to me, but maybe not notable to a ton of people. I don't think it gets talked about enough. Georgia ain't in the top half of spending in the SEC. And anytime that you read articles and you listen to sources about Georgia football and their recruiting, they often use the term old school recruiting when it comes to Kirby Smart in Georgia. And what does that refer to, old school recruiting? Well, they're not necessarily paying top dollar for top prospects, but they're telling top prospects, look at our national championships. Look at the guys that we put in the NFL. Look at, how we've developed top prospects like yourself. Come and play here, even if it means taking a discount and not necessarily, going for top dollar elsewhere. And that's great and everything. And I give so much credit to Kirby for parlaying that success in order to, pay a discount, if you will, on top prospects. But if you're going to use that pitch, you got to continue developing NFL talent. You got to continue developing, top prospects into top college players. And more importantly, you got to win national championships. You got to go to the national championship game. You have to have success in the college football playoff. And Georgia just has not been able to break through that glass ceiling, even though they've won back-to-back SEC championship games. People do kind of forget the dominant performance that Georgia had against Alabama in that SEC championship game last season, which I think gets overshadowed by the fact that Alabama ended up getting their butts whooped by Indiana the next time they're out on the field. So we'll talk a little bit about Georgia. I'm very curious to see what Kirby says today. We'll talk about Greg Sankey. Yesterday, the kind of the headline news in sport was Sankey putting the chips on the table and saying, hey, we're real when we say we'll break away from the NCAA. And there's been a whole plethora of opinions, whether it be from fans on Twitter, media members writing articles. Got some very interesting tidbits from Heather Dinich on ESPN, Sean Pate or Josh Pate rather. Went on a couple of shows and had some interviews and talked about it. And so is this a bluff? Is this Sankey bluffing, or is he being real about it? And what does the NCAA do in response? And who are some other stakeholders that are watching the decisions that the SEC makes? We'll have a discussion about that. I mean, it's one of those things where I don't even know if the SEC knows if they can do this. I don't know if the SEC necessarily has a plan in terms of how this would all shake out and what they would do. And I think ESPN definitely plays a part in, they are the SEC, they are their network partner, right? I mean, there's a lot of different things that they would have to talk through and a lot of different hoops that they would have to jump through. Like, I don't know if there's actually a plan out there for this to happen, but I don't think Sankey is just saying this stuff to say this stuff. And I'll tell you exactly why. And it kind of leads into our discussion about Georgia as well, because I don't think this is just Sankey saying these things. I think this is Sankey speaking on behalf of the athletic directors. I think this is Sankey speaking on behalf of coaches. I think this is Sankey speaking on behalf on presidents of universities who are very confused, disappointed, and upset about just how everything is being handled in the NCAA. And to steal an analogy from Josh Pate, I mean, the NCAA is a big cruise. It's a big ship, and everybody's looking up to the captain's deck, and nobody has the hand on the wheel. And I would not be surprised if there are some power brokers in the NCAA when it comes to college football who are looking at their life vessels and saying, do we abandon ship? Because that's just kind of where we are at right now. You see the iceberg, okay? You see the calamity that is happening or about to happen with college sports, and nobody's steering away from it. And so it does not shock me that a commissioner who holds as much power as Greg Sankey is thinking about hitting the big red button, which is going away from the NCAA. So we'll have some discussions about that. We'll also talk, just joking with Josh about, it seems like every day I have to wake up and I got to think of a different Husker football prompt. You know, we're at the point where it's just like, we're so close to fall camp. We are so close to getting actual reports in terms of how guys are looking at practice. We're so close to finding out, you know, what's going to happen in certain position battles, defensive end, cornerback, how do things shake out at linebacker? So close to hearing about, oh my God, the offensive line looks great and they're clicking. We're so close to hearing all the little tidbits that you want to know about. Is Anthony Calandria looking better? Is he improving in practice? Is he turning the ball over a lot in practice? So on and so forth. We're so close to that, but we're not there yet. We're right around the corner to the actual reports coming out. So we gotta keep being creative. We gotta still talk about the Husker football season. We are gonna rank what wins you want the most this year. So this isn't necessarily like, hey, I think these are the most winnable games, or we're not ranking like what we actually think Nebraska is going to do. We are ranking, if you were to have the win, like if you were to pick your wins, okay, what wins are you picking? What wins over what opponents are you picking? What are the most important wins that you want? What are the wins that mean the most to you? And then we'll rank them. So, for example, obviously the three non-cons are 12th, 11th, and 10th in terms of wins that I want the most. And then we go from there. And so this isn't necessarily just about, oh, I want Nebraska to beat the best teams. Maybe you want Nebraska to beat Iowa more than anything. Maybe you want Nebraska to beat Oregon more than anything because of the whole Dylan Raiola situation. Maybe you hate Kurt Signetti so much that you want Nebraska to beat him, right? So we're just going to rank the 12 wins. Just rank, if you were to pick your wins, 1 to 12, how would you pick them? So we'll have that fun little segment today. It's also a Top 10 Tuesday. We have one typically, like a lot of things on the show, I kind of just let Josh steer the boat, and then I react to it with Top 10 Tuesday. Typically, I don't know what our top 10 is going to be. We have, and we've done this a couple of times now, we have both made our own top 10s. We made our own top 10s last week with top 10 Matt Damon movies. We'll do that again today with burgers, top 10 fast food burgers. I believe that we've made some rules in terms of what is a fast food burger and what is not a fast food burger. We have allowed Five Guys and Shake Shack to be in the fast food burger realm, even though you might consider them more fast casual. I have vetoed, though, Steak and Shake, because I think that's a little bit of a longer wait and a little bit more often that you sit down and eat it. So there is a little bit of a gray area, but we're going to allow Shake Shack and we're going to allow Five Guys in here.
We needed to open it up
a little bit
so we could have 10.
Can I be real with you? It's a little bit surprising when you get to about 7. You're like, I'm kind of running out of options, in terms of like what fast food burgers are. So we will do Top 10 Tuesday, top 10 burgers. A lot of people out at ESPN. It's been coming out over the last 24 hours. This is the ESPN cuts are coming down. We are going to have a new voice of the College World Series. Hasn't been officially announced who that voice is going to be, but I'll tell you right now, it ain't going to be Karl Ravech. Out of ESPN after 33 years, along with Ryan Clark, former Pittsburgh Steeler defensive back. He is out of ESPN as well after being an analyst for the last couple of years on NFL Live. And then also Tom Pelissero, not going to be with ESPN this season for the NFL calendar year. He is a part of the expected cuts when it comes to ESPN acquiring the NFL Network in exchange for a multitude of things, including a 10% stake in their company, which was given to the NFL. Kind of expected that these cuts were going to be coming down for the NFL Network, especially in the back end of things, producers, directors. I mean, that was very much expected. Not expected Pelissero, though, to be laid off. He was actually on a show that I was watching where he said that he was planning on being at Minnesota Vikings camp over the next couple of days. So he had his training camp scheduled. He was all ready to go for this season for the NFL and kind of unexpectedly let go for this NFL season. We'll comment a little bit on those cuts. I have some opinions. Cam Newton out as well at First Take. I didn't even know he was an employee of ESPN. I thought he was just kind of
I thought he was like a guest.
Yeah, I thought he would just come on and they would just give Cam a call and be like, "Hey, do you want to come on today?" and say a bunch of nonsense. So we'll touch a little bit on that. Michael Severe, the executive director of the Jet Award Foundation, will join us today at 11:20. I don't know what we're going to talk about with Michael. We have a lot of things that we can hit on. I got new stainless steel pans that I would like to discuss with Michael. I don't fully know how to clean them. I've been told mild dish soap and warm water is the best way to go.
That's
but
what we do at our house. I'm glad that that's the way to do it.
I'm just kind of, I cleaned mine yesterday after using it for the first time, and it just wasn't as shiny as I wanted. So I'm going to ask Michael if he's got a tidbit or two. Yesterday, I said on Josh Odson's behalf, I was going to ask Michael Severe what he thinks of Peyton Manning. So we'll do that as well, along with talking about some, we'll probably do more of an NFL conversation with Michael. We will do local, though, a local Nebraska football conversation with Tim Verghese of Inside Nebraska and Rivals at 12:20 today. Recruiting has slowed down just a little bit. Dead period is going on right now. I believe the dead period is going on right now in recruiting, if I'm not mistaken. Let me look this up real quick. I want to be correct here. The dead period, I believe, is going on. I'll confirm that after the break. But anyway, we won't necessarily talk so much recruiting with Tim Verghese. Says we'll just talk football with the guy. We'll just talk the NFL. We'll just talk Nebraska. We'll talk college football. We'll talk everything with Tim. Things that he's looking for, patterns he's paying attention to, players that he's interested in terms of developing and recruiting and analysis and so on and so forth. So we'll talk to Tim Verghese at 12:20. We got a loaded show today. It's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be a really, really fun one. We have a hell of a show for you today. Mariah Carey is here on Middays with Matt. Let's talk about the SEC after this break on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
I'm on Twitter. People are dunking on Ryan Clark right now. A lot of people don't like that guy. Didn't really realize that. How many people are happy for another man's downfall? I'm not. I'm not gonna be the dunking on braggadocious type when somebody loses their job. But it is kind of, I don't know, a little. Maybe I shouldn't be as surprised, but there are a lot of people who are taking the. I don't know if I can say this, but they're really having fun at his demise when it comes to no longer being on ESPN.
Why would Ryan Clark be the one that they celebrate? What's different between him and Karl Ravech, Tom Pelissaro? What's the difference?
Well,
between those,
I'll say this. I'll tell you why. He's been a Ryan Clark was very much a guy who was unafraid to say to other people who haven't played football, have you played the game before?
Well, that's the speculation is that's why he got fired, because he called
Peter Schrager.
Yeah, a non-ball knower.
Yeah, which is, by the way, the worst person to do that with, because he's probably the best. Who is the best broadcaster right now at ESPN? He's got to be up there. I love Mina Kimes, but I will say that from a broadcasting perspective, there are times where Mina does like very non-polished things where she like whispers into the microphone or like, gets kind of high pitchy and stuff like that, where it's like, that's not great broadcasting, but like, that's just a technical thing. Schrager's great. Like, he knows what he's talking about. He has awesome sources, and he is, when we talk about polished broadcasters, up there. I mean, that's the wrong guy that you say that to. I think Ryan Clark was, it was very interesting in terms of like how he is as a broadcaster. Like, I felt like he was at his best when he would explain the game of football, like, and I love that. Like, I love learning about like shifting in formations. I like learning about alignment. I like learning about, what defensive players are thinking about any given moment. Say what you want about Dan Orlovsky. Okay. I love it when he breaks down quarterback play on ESPN. Like, I find it fascinating because he's
a good teacher.
He brings up things that you would only really be thinking about if you were in an NFL locker room or if you were on the field as an NFL player. And as somebody who has done neither of those things and will never do any of those things, I always love learning about that stuff. And I felt like Ryan Clark had the tools to do that and didn't do that as much as he should have. It was a lot more hot take. It was a lot more, brass statement. It was a lot more being defensive if somebody disagreed with you and saying, hey, you've never played the game before. And I also think too, like, Clark was in a very interesting situation in terms of being a former player and having a lot of connections. And I think that his connections and his friendships with stakeholders in the NFL and with people who were either players or general managers or coaches, it kind of deterred him from giving honest opinions. And so there would be moments where it's like he would be on the defense of people that maybe you shouldn't be on the defense for because he had connections with them. And, those would get pointed out on social media in terms of, well, that's one of Clark's guys. And even like the last thing that I consumed in terms of Ryan Clark content was him being on the Power Hour with Mina Kimes, where he was describing, where he was power ranking all 32 teams. And multiple times within the broadcast, he was bullish on guys and admittingly friends with them, and admittingly was like, oh, I heard that, he's having a great training camp out in California and I love CJ Stroud and this, that. I think he's going to be great. Like, that's, I think that sometimes it's great having sources, but I think sometimes when they affect how you approach things, right, or what you say, it could have a double-edged sword effect. I mean, how we saw it with, like, the best example is Colin Cowherd, where, there was an NFL player that was dating his daughter. And when they were in a relationship, he was very happy for that player. And then when that NFL player broke up with his daughter, then he started trashing that player. And that's just, not very professional and an example of that type of stuff.
I didn't like Ryan Clark's brooch that had his initials.
Do you remember when he got into that big fight with RG3? That was really weird and out of nowhere. I mean, they started really going at it. That got ugly really quickly.
I'd like
Very
to stuff RG3 in a locker.
I'm
not sure I could, but
I don't think you could.
I'd like to try.
Guy's one hell of an athlete. We will have a new voice of the College World Series, not on 1620 The Zone. That'll still be the John Bishops and Connor Happers and Mike Ferrens and Kevin Kuglers. But we will have the new voice of the College World Series on ESPN, Karl Ravech. Out.
Well, maybe we hire Karl here at Usher Media and
maybe we do
have him work the radio games with John.
You know, some people weren't the biggest fans of Karl Ravech and his announcing of the College World Series. It just didn't seem like he loved it. You know, it didn't seem like he loved doing it. Like I just never got the idea that like he was passionate about college baseball. And it's a conversation that we had plenty, you know, when I was on the morning show.
There's a phrase, the game has passed you by.
See, 33 years at ESPN, that's one hell of a run. That's one hell of a run. Like nothing to be ashamed about.
We should all be so lucky.
There are so many people who during those 33 years that Karl Ravech has seen come and go. And he's been able to survive all of the previous layoffs and now no longer with ESPN. I will ask this question, though. It's an honest question. I don't feel like I'm being mean or unfair to Karl Ravech when I ask, if you are a Major League Baseball fan, if Karl Ravech became your day-to-day announcer for your favorite team, how would you feel about it? And would he be better than your current option?
An excellent question by you. Massive downgrade.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I got Boog, you know. I'm feeling pretty great about my play-by-play guy. I think the Tigers would easily say no. I think the Dodgers would easily say no. I think the Angels would easily say no. I think there might be a couple of I think the White Sox would say no. Karl would be an upgrade over John Triffin. I think they would say no. We'd like Karl. I think there'd be other baseball teams who might say, yeah, we're good. But I think the Yankees would be like, hell no, absolutely not. I think the Mets would be like, no, I'm cool with Cohen.
Phillies.
You know? Yeah, Phillies is a good one.
The bottom 5 on.
Oh, awful announcing. Yes, give me the ranking here. I don't know if, by the way, I'm familiar with a lot of MLB announcers. I don't know if I'll be familiar with all 5 of these.
The last time they did this was at the end of last season.
Okay, that's perfect. Let's do it.
The Nationals.
I don't know who's their announcer.
They split 3 different people.
Yeah, I don't know if that counts.
Bob Carpenter, Kevin Franzen, and Dan Kolko.
Okay.
Let's see. The White Sox.
He's
who just got a new guy, right?
John Triffin.
Oh, no. Okay, then this is the same guy.
Yeah.
Steve Stone. Steve Stone's good.
Stevie is great.
Mm-hmm.
Stone is, there are so many, like,
a lot of people my age
when
grew up with Steve Stone.
When I sparingly talk about baseball, I use Steve Stone-isms. Like he's the slider that doesn't slide, you know? It's like Stoney is, man, he's so good. And it's a shame he's kind of been paired, like, him and Benetti. When him and Jason Benetti were announcing together, I'm not a Sox fan. I would watch Sox games to see that booth. I mean, it was so good. Schriffen it's been a little bumpy. It's been a little bumpy. Mm-hmm. He's a different type of broadcaster. You know, he's a little, I think the Sox wanted a little bit more new school. They wanted a little bit more like, you know, young and brash and loud and guy who makes nicknames, you know, type deal. And just the quality of broadcasting definitely isn't as high. And also too, following Benetti is tough. That's really tough. That's a tough thing to do. I wonder if Len Casper ever gets up to the White Sox TV booth, because Len Casper is a longtime announcer of the Chicago Cubs. In 2020, he moved to the Sox. He's been on their radio programming now for 6 years. And the reason why he moved to the radio programming was he wanted to call the World Series. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened for him. But I don't know. Just back to Ravech. Like, I don't know how many people who watch the College World Series on TV are necessarily freaking out that he's not going to be on the airwaves anymore. And, you know, I think I'm curious as to see, you know, where he will go in terms of what's his next stop. Maybe he just retires and says, I'm cool. I'm good. I wouldn't be shocked. Mike Monaco would be the number one guy right now for the College World Series in terms of announcing it for ESPN. We'll see if they stick with that or if they go elsewhere.
Well, they'd have to have a number 2 for the, they have a day crew and a night crew.
Sure, yeah, they'll have to get.
Yeah.
But I wonder, do they put somebody above Monaco or do they go with
Right,
Monaco
right.
as the number one guy? Tom Pelissero gets laid off as well from ESPN. Was an NFL Network holdover. ESPN bought the NFL Network. He came over. Pelissero, as of a couple days ago, I was listening to him on Eisen, and he was talking about his schedule. And he was like, "I'm going to Minnesota, and then I'm planning on having a sit-down interview with Dan Campbell. It'll be the 4th year in a row." Like, he was breaking down his schedule. So this definitely, in terms of him having a schedule and being ready to go out and report on NFL training camps, like we said in the open, veteran or rookies for the Carolina Panthers and Arizona Cardinals report today. Cardinals and Panthers veterans will report tomorrow. Most of the league will report next Monday on the 28th of July. He was ready to go. He had a schedule. He had a travel plan. He was going to be hopping on planes. He was talking about how, all right, for the next 9 months, I'm going to be locked in. Like, he was just coming off of vacation. And then all of a sudden today gets announced that he, along with a bunch of other people, mainly more behind the scenes, who came over to ESPN from the NFL Network, is getting let go. Pelissero will be swooped up in 25 minutes. He will be hired immediately.
ESPN had a lot of Tom Pelisseros, so they maybe didn't need the actual Tommy P.
Tommy P is so good, though.
Mhm.
And I would honestly argue to you that maybe you're not wrong that they have plenty of people who can go to different training camps and have sources and report on it. But I would argue that I don't know if anybody's really better than him at doing that.
Sure.
Like, I love Tom Pelissero. I was.
Did you know Bart Scott was employed by ESPN?
I did know that.
Well,
I do like Jeff Darlington, though.
Not anymore.
I'm a big Jeff Darlington fan. I do enjoy his work. So this seems like NBC is just going to grab Pelissero and put him somewhere, at least for the year. NBC isn't necessarily doing the wall-to-wall consistent NFL coverage. I think the more obvious area would be Fox. Fox would grab him, and he would be their kind of wall-to-wall insider. But to be fair, they got Jake Glazer already, so we'll see what they do there.
It's a pretty good insider to have.
How
long does Glazer want to do this, though?
Is Tom Pelissero hosting a annual coaches pool get-together that include 27 of the 33 head people of NFL teams? Is Tommy P doing that?
Oh, Diana Rossini, you're not a coach. What are you doing here?
She hosted her own party across the dock. Did you know that?
She did.
And you know who her headlining guest was?
I have a hunch.
You have a pretty good hunch. Oh, Run 65 Bears goes. Rumor, Stephania Bell. She gone. Wow. I love Stephania Bell. Stephania Bell was, I listened to her mainly on the NFL or on the fantasy football podcast, the Fantasy Football Insiders with Mike Clay, Daniel Dopp, and what's his name? He's got really good hair. Field Yates.
Field Yates
is good hair. Is really, really good hair. Real quick. Let's hit this real quick and we'll talk about it throughout the show. SEC Media Day is going on. Alex Golish just got off the podium. Head coach of Auburn, formerly of University of South Florida. Go Bulls. Yesterday, the headlines were Greg Sankey threatening to break away from the NCAA. And I think initially, people who may not be in the know or maybe more casual fans goes, oh, he's bluffing. The SEC ain't going to actually break away from the NCAA. That'd be crazy. How would they even do that? And by the way, I think that's questions that people even within the know are asking. How would the SEC even break away from the NCAA? But Heather Dinich, along with Josh Pate, both went on different programs and admitted, yes, this is real. This is not as much of a bluff as something that they're actually thinking about doing. And the reason why I believe that is because Sankey, when on an On3 article that I read, said that this is something that he's talked to people about, right? Now, he used the word people. It's non-specific, right? It's very vague. Hey, this is things that people I've talked to have talked about. But I think when you dive in, you read, you listen to more people and you read more articles on this. The people he's referring to are athletic directors, are head coaches, and very importantly, presidents of universities who are very frustrated with everything that is going on with the NCAA right now, with the NCAA being a ship without a captain, with the NCAA just consistently being in turmoil and crazy things are always happening. And, Sankey, along with saying, hey, these are real, when this is real when we talk about potentially breaking away from the NCAA, also was very frustrated with the college football committee and has admitted to having unsatisfactory conversations with the committee when it comes to how they judge strength of schedule. And it is a valid point from Sankey because the SEC, while it should have happened a long time ago, is adding a 9th conference game this year. And I think we do have to give them credit for doing that. And I don't blame Sankey for saying, hey, we are adding another power conference game. Okay, that's another power conference teams that our teams have to play. Do we get any credit for that when it comes to the college football playoff committee, or do number of wins still matter more than anything? And when the CFP committee basically tells Sankey, no, it's number of wins still matters, I understand why Greg is PO'd about that. Okay. So you couple all of that in, and you couple in the fact that Jer Moorhead, along with Kirby Smart, have also brought up the fact that maybe the SEC should break away from the NCAA. I think this is real as well. I think there are factors that also play into this being a leverage play. Like I think that this is part bluff and this is part real. The best way I can describe it is that the NCAA has ace queen right now, and they've paired the board, but there's a flush draw on the table, and the SEC has now bet 3.5 times the pot. I just watched Rounders a couple of days ago. I apologize, but I'm telling you, check isn't going to work here at this no limit Texas Hold'em table. Okay. The SEC might be bluffing, but the NCAA has got to think really long and hard. They got to tank on this one for quite a while if they're going to call it, because if they call it and all of a sudden the SEC showing 8-9 spades, it ain't going to look good for anybody. It ain't going to be good for anybody. And we are going to, you think this is crazy now, just wait until the SEC shows a flush hand. So that's how I view this. I don't know if the SEC actually knows if they can or how they would break away from the NCAA. But I do not doubt for a second, based on the fact that there are other athletic directors and coaches and presidents who are reportedly thinking this, I don't doubt for a second that this is something that they've looked into, that this is something that they're talking about, that this is something that they've had conversations about. Okay. So this wouldn't be the first time that the SEC does something and we didn't see it coming at all. But it's one of those instances where I think the NCAA's got to tread lightly. And I think the Big Ten's got a massive eye in regard to what is the SEC doing. Because if the SEC is gone, the Big Ten is going to sit there and be like, who are we going to beat in the college football playoff? Who are we going to defeat to say that we're the national champions? And that the SEC, if they were to break off and have their own national championship game, there would be a part of validity in them saying we are the real national champions.
100%.
And as somebody who's grown up loving pro wrestling my entire life, there's nothing worse than two people being able to claim they're the WCW champion. Okay. Nothing worse than that. So, this is one of those things where if I'm the NCAA, I ain't scoffing at this. I ain't laughing at this. I ain't shoving and saying I'm all in. I'm thinking really hard, and I'm seeing on whether or not the SEC actually eats the cookie after they break it off from the Oreo. John goes, yes, Sankey, you get a gift for the 9th game. How about a cookie? John goes, nope, not going to read that, John. I'm sorry. Was Sports Nation on ESPN the best sports show of all time?
Oh,
Josh Ott?
I was always more of a sports reporters guy.
Okay.
But,
yeah, Sports Nation and Sports Reporters a little bit before me. I like to say I really got into ESPN during the sports science heyday. That's when I really started listening to or watching it more than anything.
Sports Nation rocked for sure.
Around the Horn, though, was my GOAT sport ESPN show of all time. That right above PTI, but I was more of around the horn guy than PTI, in my opinion. Aaron goes, still Scott Van Pelt, but Peter is really good. Yeah, Schrager is up there. I think Pelissero, though, is going to get swooped up pretty quickly. All right, let's hit a break. We'll talk to the executive director of the Jet Award Foundation, Michael Zavir, coming up next here on Middays with Matt.
Josh Hudson's boyhood hero was Hank Aaron. Matt McMasters was the guy from the Dos Equis commercial. Now it's starting to all make sense. Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Have you ever worn those glasses before when you've been on the air with me?
Yeah, if I've been working on the computer, something about the distance between where my monitor is and where I am. So like if I move right here, it's clear. Good. It's clear as day.
Yeah.
If I move way back here, clear as day. But something like about right here, I don't know what it is. It's a little off. So
yeah, you're like the guy who can't shoot the mid range when it comes to vision. It's
I'm not Dwayne Wade over here.
No, you got no MIDI. You're the opposite of Richard Hamilton is what Michael Severe is when it comes to ice.
I had lens exchange procedure done.
Oh wow!
So at one point when I was like 45, I started needing readers, for close-up stuff, and so I got that done probably 6, 7 years ago now.
Okay.
And so I can read stuff up close, and I could see things far away. I'm kind of like bionic a little bit.
Sure.
But there's this little distance here.
Did you, by the way, Michael Severe, the executive director of the Jet Award Foundation. Michael, did you ever get LASIK? You ever do that? My dad
I didn't.
Change his life.
No, well, LASIK. So the lens exchange procedure is like a form of LASIK. There's 7 different LASIK procedures that our good friends over at Kugler Vision have done for many of the people who worked at that station. And one of mine was just the lens exchange procedure. So, but it works. And only problem I had when I first had it was you saw halos around bright lights. So when you're driving at night, or like when you first got into the movie theater before the lights came down. Mm-hmm. But other than that, it's fine now after all these years.
We have a lot of questions for you today that we've actually curated and we talk about you a lot when you're not on the show, by the way. I don't know how you feel about that, but you're a big influence on both of us.
I never did the 999, by the way. I've never done that.
Are you disappointed in me and my performance, or do you really care? Like, what is your opinion on that?
Well, I missed it, right? I missed the whole thing, but I did listen to Happer's show with Mitch, and they were describing, they said you only got through like the second inning. You only had 2 hot dogs and 2 beers?
3 hot dogs and 2.5 beers.
And then you threw up?
It was bad. It was a quick game. My stomach wasn't cooperating. It wasn't my day. It was not my day.
I'm one of those people that I love going decades without throwing up. Like I once went like 23 years without throwing up. I'll never forget the day that it broke. Much like the Seinfeld episode with the two-sided, the cookie, the black and white cookie. Yes. But I have not thrown out now, really thrown up, probably in about 5 years now.
Good for you.
It's the worst thing in the world for me. I mean, I'm a violent puker. Like you hear it next door at somebody else's house. That's how loud I puke. Now you have a quiet puker as a producer, because I've actually heard that and seen that before. So I have a pretty good idea of what he does as a puker.
I'm a very loud and obnoxious puker. You'll like this story real quick. You remember my roommate, Mike Wood. You good guy, but not very good at radio, according to Mike.
Very robotic. Very robotic,
but very funny and a very dear friend of mine. He ROTC guy. Yeah. Awesome dude, 6'5", 220, just built, just like very tough, and was like you. He goes, I've never thrown up before. He's like, I don't throw up. I don't throw up. Like, I don't want to do it. And we were in the kitchen one day. This was junior year. And all of a sudden from his bathroom, we heard him throwing up. Oh. And both my roommate, Lucas, and I run over to the bathroom. And we are like, is he dying? Like, is he, like that's how, he had hyped up, like, I don't throw up. I've never thrown up before. Yeah. It happened. And we were concerned. We were like, this is like, we weren't joking. We were like, and he was like, get out. Get out. I don't know. Get out of here. Stop. Leave. Like, he was so embarrassed for it.
What'd you guys call it? What'd you call it where you grew up? What'd you call it?
What do you mean? What did I call it?
Did you have a phrase? So, like, we used to say calling Earl.
Oh,
blowing chunks. Okay.
Blowing chunks.
Yeah, okay.
I threw up at a cross-country practice, and they called me Chunks for a whole season. That actually, this is not the first time where I famously puked and had to live with it for an extended period.
That was the first. That 25-year gap was me running the 400 at a meet, because I don't run the 400. Right, I did not run the 400.
Yeah, no.
And they made me run the 400.
400 sucks.
400 and 800 both. They're horrible.
I was an 800 guy. I enjoyed it. The 400 blew.
I threw up after the 400. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not like you're in between aerobic and anaerobic in terms of like you're sprinting, but then like you're going for an extended period of time. And so the lactic acid is building up and like, if you're not used to it, your body doesn't know what to do with it. It's tough.
I ran the 200, and that extra 200 is a mother.
What was your favorite track event growing up?
My favorite track event probably was just the 60, the indoor 60.
That's a great one.
And then I ran the 100, the relay. I think the relay probably, because that was more about technique than it really was about being the fastest.
Yes.
So I enjoyed that one.
For the 4x1 or the 4x4?
4x1. 4x1. Yeah. No, I only ran the 400 once. Like literally, the guy that was supposed to run the 400 for us was sick. They said, "You severe, go run the 400." And I had never run the 400, and I never ran it again after that.
I was in my prime. I was anchor for 4x8, and then I was anchor for 4x8, but I was a 2-mile guy. Is really what I.
Ooh, running long, far ways is not. You know, we invented cars to avoid that.
Yeah, I mean, I was. You know what? In Chicago, when I was a high schooler, there would be times where we were going like it was going to take us 45 minutes to go 6 miles.
Yeah.
And I would tell my mom, I would be like, I could get there right now on my own 2 feet faster than that. Like I could go.
Oh yeah. Big.
Like,
Yeah.
To be young and have great cardio. Once again, I would love that. Real quick, another question that we're supposed to ask you. Your thoughts on Peyton Manning? Josh Otson was curious as to how you just feel about Peyton Manning, the player and the person.
I hate both the way you say his name and him. I've hated him since I knew he was a junior.
Easiest, by the way. This was -210 that you would not like Peyton Manning.
He was a junior in high school, right? I went to Dill Sal, which was right up the street from where he went at Newman. And my sister was working for a radio station at the time, WYLD, and they were having a basketball tournament thing with all these high school basketball players. He was playing basketball at the time. I was doing PA, right, for the event, and he was a jerk, straight jerk, halfway decent basketball player, actually, kind of stiff, but just a jerk. And I've always disliked him. I remember being at the 5A championship game, West Monroe playing for the championship in the Superdome when they made the announcement that he had lost the Heisman to Charles Woodson. And I got up and cheered in the press box. I got up and cheered. I was brand new reporter. I was working in Monroe. I was down there for that. I was cheering because he had lost. I was so happy.
Are you a fan of Eli?
Yeah, I had no problem with Eli. Eli's a nice guy. Cooper's a nice guy. Archie, I loved Archie. It was just Peyton. Peyton is an undercover Richard Head. I'm telling you, people don't know he is an undercover Richard Head. He's done so many things and he gets away with it. He's like, oh, he's just joking. Like, no, he's a jerk.
Yeah, I think Josh Odson's word for word here, quote, overrated human is what you said, correct? You called him an overrated human?
I think that's what we said yesterday, yes. A lot of incidents of him at Tennessee, like just being
a Richard,
an entitled jerk.
Yeah. That's why he wanted to have backups that had like no experience, that were just no name people backing him up in case he got hurt and they couldn't take his job. That's who he was.
This is, by the way, the most unsurprising thing that you have a lot of background knowledge on Peyton Manning.
One of my favorite things that ever happened in my life was I used to MC a lot of the teammate events, right?
Yeah.
And the teammate event came up where Peyton was going to be the guest. And I was going to be emceeing the discussion between him and Dr. Tom Osborne. And I believe, I'm just guessing, they searched me a little bit and found my extreme hatred over all social media about Peyton Manning. And they said, no, we don't need an MC for it. So
wow. Yeah. I'm not shocked.
Very proud of that.
That'll probably happen if I ever have to MC an event about Yohan Moncada or Aaron Rodgers. The
first guy I've never heard of. The second guy I've heard of.
The Yohan Moncada was a third baseman for the Chicago White Sox that I absolutely
American League. Never watched it. Go ahead.
I actually love that about you. I am doing a segment today on future betting for the NFL, for the Super Bowl. Okay.
Oh, wow.
I'm just kind of saying, hey, like I've been mulling over my NFL material. We have 2 teams that rookies are reporting today. This is just a very baseline. I'm not saying who I'm picking. This is a very baseline, putting them into different categories. And I don't want this to turn into you judging my segment, but I do want to bring this up. I have 18 teams that I was like, that I was going to put that I was willing to just say that I'm not putting in the no, absolutely not. They're not winning the Super Bowl.
So 18 teams can't win a Super Bowl.
Okay, how many? So this is
I would say 8 or 9 tops.
So the reason I have 18 is like there were just a couple that I was like, you would probably say absolutely not. But
do you have the Steelers on there?
No, Steelers are a flat no.
Do you have the Bears on there?
I have the Bears as a no, but only because like they're not good value.
They're getting tons of money on the under for their total. Do you see how much money's coming in?
Well, because they have a very tough schedule, and it doesn't let up. And the best part of their schedule is the first 4 weeks where they just go in between good, bad game and good game, which is like they play Carolina, and then right after that they're playing a tough game. They play the New York Jets, and right after that they play the Eagles.
3 teams from the AFC West are in your list, right? Everybody but the Raiders.
Raiders, yes.
Right. So do you have the Cowboys? You have the Cowboys?
I have the Cowboys. But they're I have the Eagles, yes.
Jacksonville?
Yes.
What's the odds for Jacksonville? Do you know it?
Plus 2,700.
I don't mind that.
I don't mind. So I put 4 teams that I really like as favorite long shots. They're in one of them. I like that a lot. I'll tell you one you'll disagree with: Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't see Kyler Murray taking anybody to the Super Bowl unless he bought the tickets and he had a private jet to fly everybody there. I don't see him taking anybody to the Super Bowl. I mean, they're talented. They're a talented club, man. But I just can't imagine that guy taking somebody to the Super Bowl.
I have a no to the Colts, no to the Commanders, no to the Giants, no to the Steelers, no to the Falcons,
Why no to the Colts?
I don't believe in Daniel Jones right now. I like the rest of the roster, but I'm not willing right now before the ball is snapped on the ground to say that he's.
Yeah, Achilles is a tough injury to come back from, but they were the 3rd best team probably in all of football through the first half of the season.
They were
best offense probably too. If you went
and by the way, people do forget that they took the Super Bowl champions to the absolute limit with Phillip Rivers.
As their
quarterback.
Yes, it's incredible to think
about. That's a very underrated part. So 18. I have. Let's see right now. I have 4.
You have Tampa. You have Tampa on there?
No, they're in a no.
So you have nobody from the South?
No, I don't have anybody from the South.
Okay. That's a choice.
I have nobody. Well, who would you pick from the South?
I think I would either take Tampa or I would take Tampa. I would say Tampa.
I'm out on Baker.
They do have enough. I mean, he's a gamer, and he was hurt so much last year. He's going to be healthy. If he regresses back to what he was 2 years ago, they have enough talent. Their lines are great. I'm not. If you have 18 and you don't have Tampa on there, I want to see some of these teams you have.
I think I'm missing a couple. Let me see here. I have 8 here. I have
from the AFC South. All you have is one team, Jacksonville.
I have 4 teams. No, I have Houston.
Ooh, okay.
I'm going to warn you, Michael. Houston's going to be the hot analyst pick. Houston is going to be the look out for Houston.
Well, they're loaded and everybody's healthy now. And sure, and Stroud's got to play better. But
teams that I have not written down yet: Green Bay Packers.
That's a Super Bowl team.
The Cincinnati Bengals
could be a Super Bowl team.
Okay.
You have the Baltimore. You have Baltimore.
Commanders. I said no. Baltimore. I have
no Commanders. Baltimore.
I haven't written down Baltimore. I haven't made a decision on Baltimore.
Ravens are on the list.
The only
Ravens in the top 5 of that list, I think.
Who, Baltimore?
Yeah. What are the odds?
Top 5 odds: Rams plus 550, Baltimore plus 1100.
Yeah, okay.
Bills plus 1100.
Yeah.
Seattle plus 1200.
You're not repeating.
San Francisco plus 1500.
Okay.
Followed up by Chargers plus 16, Chiefs plus 16.
Jags intrigue me a lot. Intrigue me a lot. And you know what? Buffalo intrigues you mainly because last year was the year they were supposed to do it. And we've seen it over the course of years where a team is supposed to do it.
Yeah.
And the next year is actually when they do it.
I'm worried about the run defense and the reason, and people go, well, they hired Jim Leonard. Yeah. I get it, but Jim Leonard runs a 3-4. And they were running a 4-down front last year, and that team is built for a 4-down front and not built for a 3-down front.
See, I'm going to tell you this, and I've said this to you before. Do not concern yourself with scheme when you're talking defense. Do not. It's having the best players. I don't care if you're running a 4-man front, you're running an eagle, you're running over, under. It's just not. You can look at it throughout history. It's about the best players. It's not a scheme. The reason why Seattle's scheme worked because Imamori is an incredible player who can play both the second and third level. And then they figured out a way to be able to get pressure and use him all over the field. It wasn't a system thing. It's a player thing on the defense.
Okay. So I'll ask you this question.
Yeah.
There are people who go, okay, yes, Seattle lost Tariq Woolen. Yes, Seattle lost Kobe Bryant. I get it.
That's huge.
But Mike McDonald is a great defensive coordinator. I don't see with him being a great DC, their defense falling off. Do you agree or disagree with people who have that take?
When you lose all pros, when you lose Pro Bowlers, your defense is not going to be as good. It's just not. I don't care what the system is. The Bears are the greatest example in the world. Right? Greatest system in the world, right? This is the system that's going to dominate football. Within 2 years, it was over.
Yeah.
Because the players went away.
I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all. I get worried. I think I'm though fair to be in the camp to say who is Buffalo's nose tackle? Who is supposed to be their nose? And they don't really have anybody there. They have more power rush guys. They don't have the speed rush guys.
You're going to have to make him he's going to be more of a true shade than he had true nose.
Yes.
That's what you're going to do.
But you look back at the hit, like Leonard at Wisconsin, Leonard in Denver, like he had that 0-1 guy who could come in there and stuff.
Yeah. But think about it. At Wisconsin, they didn't have the size you would consider an NFL nose.
Sure,
right?
sure.
So,
that's true.
Yeah.
But it's a different game. I understand what you're saying, though.
You play hard on defense. You beat people with scheme on offense. That's how I've always thought about it.
What do you think? Like Leonard being a guy that he's described as he's a puncher. He's not going to counter punch. He's going to go ahead. He's going to scheme.
Oh, he's aggressive. Yeah, he's going to be very aggressive. I'm still surprised they didn't hire him.
When it comes to DCs, do you buy a lot of stock in terms of that type of description?
This is the way it always works, right? You fire a guy who was passive and you hire a guy who was aggressive. That's what they always say, right?
Yeah.
This guy goes after it. This guy goes. It's again about the talent that you have, and the only difference I would say is you can't take a guy who is say 240. Right, like the Mike Green guy, and you say, I'm going to play him on the edge, and he's got to set the edge for me.
Sure.
You can't do that. That just there's not guys that can do that. But everything else about the defense, I truly believe is effort and talent. That's how I believe you win on defense.
I
want to name guys on the Saints last year, and they were the number one DVO defense over the second half, DVOA defense, the second half of the season.
What do you
think, guys?
What do you think about losing Jermaine Johnson? That's a guy that a lot of people are talking about for the Jets that people really like in terms of that.
I think who they got back though. That trade, right? You're talking about they got who they get back.
I don't know who they got.
I remember I liked that trade because I knew that they were going. Whenever you have a defensive coordinator who knows exactly what he is and everything, I think I like that. Who was the guy they got back?
Devondre Sweat.
Yeah, I know. I like that move. I love that move. I think he's going to be very good.
The Jets. Jermaine John. Or no, I think I got that. Anyway,
that was not the route. Because I remember that trade when it happened and thinking to myself, oh, I like that for both sides.
Me too. Did the Saints not have him? Did they not have him?
No.
Okay, I got that.
No.
But anyway, I like that. I like the Jets roster this year. I hate their quarterback. Real quick, I want to ask you a quick Nebraska Cornhusker question. I was watching Maryland. I was watching the Maryland game. I was rewatching it.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where it's like, oh, I forgot about that play. I forgot about that play. I forgot that happened, you know?
Yeah.
And one of the things I forgot about that Maryland game is how bad Nebraska was in short yardage. Like that was a terrible short yardage game for Nebraska. And they've had a couple of those, in Matt Rule's tenure. How good or bad was Nebraska in short yardage last year? And also, do you think it'll get better?
Well, you remember they had six.
I don't have a number to it. I just remember
they had 6 total non-scoring inside the 5 drives.
Yeah,
that's a lot. That's a lot.
One of them was a Maryland game. One of them happened in Maryland.
Yeah, one was a Houston Christian game. It happened against Penn State. It happened against Michigan. When people talked about that they really didn't need another running back after how Emmett did, they was like, well, they didn't even need the guy from Marty or whatever. They didn't even need him, right? I was like, no, in short yardage, they did need him. Because they tried to go Weil Heine, and Weil Heine didn't work.
Well, they would in the Maryland game you watch, and in the Michigan game, and in the Michigan State game, when they went short yardage, who was the back? EJ. It was EJ.
Oh yeah, because
they didn't have a short yardage back. After telling us all offseason Quentin Ives could be the guy to do it, they never used him, right?
It's so weird that they used him so much in the Houston Christian game, and then when it came to running short yardage, they either went with Heinrich Harburg or they went with Emmett Johnson.
You think this Hayes guy? You think this Hayes guy could be a short yardage guy?
I was telling people that he was limited in the spring with Iowa Western. He had a procedure done on his knee, so I don't know how completely healthy he'll be by the time he gets to the season. So I don't know. I think he comes in as an insurance policy if really bad things happen. I don't know if he's watch his junior tape and then try to watch his senior tape from when he was in high school.
Yeah.
He's not the same guy. I think when you look at them overall, I think this guy's a year away from being somebody that really contributes to Nebraska. That's the way I feel about it. But you know what? If you get to your fourth running back, that means you've had really bad things happen to the guys who won the job, and then the guy who was second, and then the guy who was third.
Yeah.
So if you're that point, I don't really feel good about anybody who's my third string or fourth string guy.
Your team sucks if you get to the fourth string.
Usually what happens, yeah. Although you look at Michigan last year, lost their top 3 running backs and brought a fourth guy in, and he contributed, right?
Yeah.
So
that happened to USC. The King
USC,
guy,
yes, same thing with USC.
He was a walk-on, and the guys that they had in front of him were super talented, and now he's one of the best guys coming back. You're referring to Jordan Marshall, who's the Michigan running back.
They lost their starter, and then they lost their back. Justice Haynes got hurt, right?
Yeah.
Then Marshall came in, he got injured, and then they just kept going. And of course, they had a quarterback who could run, which adds a little bit to losing your running backs. But yeah,
Haynes went to Georgia Tech now, right?
He did. Yeah, I thought he was going to go into the draft because of the limited amount of running backs in the draft. I thought he would, but he decided not to. There were a couple guys that didn't go in the draft that I thought would.
Off the top of my head, let's do some homework. Let's talk about this next week. We're gonna let you go and we're gonna hit a break, but let's do our homework next week, and talk about is this a weaker year for running back in the Big Ten? Because off the top of my head, I don't think it's very strong. There's not like that. Holy crap, this is the guy type of year. I mean, you got Bo Jackson right for Ohio State. You got Jordan Marshall. You have King Miller. I think Caleb Kamalafe is an underrated running back for Northwestern.
Right.
You got Antoine Raymond for Rutgers.
Kid's back from Minnesota.
Right. Darius Taylor, but he didn't have.
He was banged up all year. Came into the season hurt.
Yeah.
Running back is the position where I don't think you can predict the preseason. I bet if we went back and looked at the preseason rankings, or like the top 3 people for preseason, all Big Ten or any of them, I think that it would be different each year because you get freshmen who can jump up, you get transfers who can jump up, and you have guys that get injured a lot playing running back. And so I don't know if that's a position where you really can predict who's going to be the best.
I mean, how many years could we think Nick Singleton and Donovan Edwards were going to be the guys, and they just didn't.
Well, that's another guy. Donovan Edwards couldn't stay. He was always hurt, and he had the ankle issue, and then he just kind of quit on Colorado. Yeah. So,
all right, Michael, appreciate you. This was fun as always.
All right. Bye-bye.
Let's hit a break here. We'll do a quick segment, ping pong, a quick segment, and then we'll do odd news o'clock here on Middays with Matt.
Now back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Did you see this? Did you hear about this? The fallout from the World Cup?
There's fallout?
FIFA's investigating Argentina for being whiny and trying to fight people afterwards, which is tough.
It was that whole match was chippy, and then
that was the only
shoving
thing
each other
That's the only thing
afterwards.
Argentina could do. Lost opportunity, by the way, for sports for Messi to not win his second World Cup. He could have. I mean, he still is the GOAT of one of the greatest of all time, if not the GOAT of soccer. But it would have put him on a whole other stratosphere, in my opinion, if they were to win that game. Like we're talking even a step above where he's at now, which is crazy to think about. By the way, quick tweet from the NFL. August 4th, 9 p.m., Tuesday, on HBO. Hard Knocks premieres. Can you tell me who the Hard Knocks team is this year, Josh Odson?
I actually can. I have to recuse myself in this.
Dang it. The point was for you not to know, and then we can talk about how Hard Knocks doesn't matter anymore.
Normally, I try and stay in the dark on this.
I used to think that Hard Knocks was the greatest thing of all time.
We all did.
I think the last great season was the Baker Mayfield, Cleveland Brown Hard Knocks season. That was the last real, true great one. And then ever since then, it fell off the cliff. I used to beg and hope that the Bears would be on Hard Knocks. And then they were on Hard Knocks, and it just sucked. Mainly because the McCaskies didn't want any swearing in Hard Knocks, which is very McCaskey and very boring, if you will. I believe George McCaskey at one point said we have 4 more laps around the track in regard to the Hard Knocks episodes, which is this thing has fallen off the cliff. We should on August 4th do that is a Tuesday, Top 10 Tuesday, August 4th, Hard Knocks moments. That'd be kind of tough. I don't know if there's 10 of them I can think of off the top of my head.
10 of them.
Do you remember when Hard Knocks was a competition to make an NFL roster?
I do remember that.
Hard
that was a lot of
Knocks.
people's best favorite part each year.
It was the Hard Knocks Dallas Cowboys. Was my favorite. That was awesome. We would sit in front of the television and watch it.
Vince Wilfork showing up in the overalls.
That's a great one.
Uh-huh.
Or Rex Ryan saying, "Let's go get a GD snack."
Yeah.
That was an awesome one. Also, just Wilfork kicking field goals was pretty great. You can't forget about when the Baltimore Raven rookie impersonated Shannon Sharp. Fuko. With I couldn't see. I had my hat down. That was good. We could do it'd be a little tougher, but when we get to the top 5 of Hard Knocks moment, it'd be a very funny segment. We'll mull over that, just like Josh Odson will mull over the odd news stories he's going to read to you coming up next here on Middays with Matt.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
I think people are starting to enjoy your odd news stories you couldn't read over the air more than some of the odd news stories you've been reading. Because the odd news stories, unfortunately, you can't say on these airwaves, are hysterical.
Yeah, and
rest in peace, Richard Porn.
It's why I started. You guys do the math on that name. It's a bit that started because people would send them to me and be like, "Oh, I can't do that," or I'd see something and I'm like, "That's
vulgar,
really funny." I'd like to laugh at that. Yeah. Sadly, Kenneth says the one I posted today could be read today, and you're probably right.
I think you definitely could read it. I don't know if you could. I mean, it's just a name, right? It's just a name.
It's the guy's name, and
it's his name.
There's just a couple too many pitfalls that we could fall into.
And look, we are the most progressive show on the radio station.
Famously.
Everybody knows that we are the most progressive show. Hey, we have a whole segment on Thursday that is dedicated to honoring women in history. Okay. And we don't want to push the envelope too far, but Richard Porn, I feel like is somebody we could have talked about. But
just the man's name. We should honor him.
We should honor him. By the way,
I propose we change the name of the studio from nothing to the Richard Porn Memorial Studio.
Put it on the wall. All right. I already got Big Clock. I now want a Richard Porn Memorial
Should
plaque
we name
here.
the clock the Richard Porn Memorial Clock?
Yes, it is. That's what it is. The Richard Porn Memorial Big Clock at 1620 The Zone Studios. And he's survived by so many great individuals, such as Peter Porn. That's his son's name.
That's his son's name.
Stephen Porn is another one of his son's names.
That's less funny, but still unfortunate. Sad news out of Italy.
At this point we've already done it. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I'm just saying, I'm so glad that we could reach a compromise and officially establish our clock here at 1620 The Zone Studios, the Richard Porn Memorial Clock. Team clap for us and Richard Porn. It's incredible. Way to honor a great man and a legend of the game.
We'll send a letter to his family in Eau Claire.
Wacky Guess Wednesday?
Oh, interesting.
Eau Claire, Wisconsin, by the way, underrated city. Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Have a great friend from there. Shout out Griffin Johnson, one of the best. And when I would drive up to Minnesota, we would pass through Eau Claire every single time on our way up to Brainerd, Minnesota, and we would eat at the Perkins at Eau Claire, Wisconsin. And that Perkins in Eau Claire, incredible.
You said this
incredible
during our production meeting.
During our very important and very serious production meeting.
That's right.
The Perkins over in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. If you ever find yourself in Eau Claire, you probably won't. But if you do, go to that Perkins. Go to that Perkins. You will not regret it. It's the eighth wonder of the world. That's what people in Eau Claire call it. What is our first God news story?
Sad news out of Italy as the world's oldest pole dancer. Oh, no, this person is still alive. I'm sorry. Not sad news.
Okay, great.
Celebratory news out of Italy.
Hey, okay, all right.
As an 82-year-old who has turned a fitness challenge into a job, is the world's oldest pole dancer. 82-year-old Italian woman isn't plopping herself in a chair and knitting sweaters all day. She's too busy for that, this article says. Adana Abignetti is out climbing on poles, performing moves designed for much younger women, and earning herself the title of world's oldest pole dancer, which is in the bio of her Instagram account. You can follow her at La Stampa. I don't know what that means. Why shouldn't she have an Instagram account, says the article. She has tens of thousands of followers. She's an 82-year-old who rocks a two-piece and hangs upside down on a pole. All right, I'm going to click play on this, even though I don't want to.
Wait, how do you spell La Stampa?
Lastampa.
I didn't know. It's Italian. It might be a little bit different. There's a lot of La Stampas on.
I don't like this.
What do you mean? You're not entertained?
I clicked play, and I didn't like what I saw. 12 years ago, she was in her son's studio in Turin, city host of the Olympics. And now at 80, almost 83 years young, she's been on a pole ever since. She competes and trains at least 2 or 3 times a week when she's not preparing for competitions, although she doesn't have much competition in her age group. I always win because there aren't any other competitors over 80.
Seriously, it's one hell of a. Okay,
The oldest competitor she's faced was a 74-year-old American. Interesting.
I've now seen some of her work.
Yeah. Grade it. What do you think?
3.7 balls
Out of
5.
okay.
That's a little high. 2.4 on the ball scale.
Wow.
Everybody know the ball scale is out of 5.
Falling.
Yeah, I wish I didn't. We'll just put it that way. But love of the game, got to respect it.
That's right.
You got to respect it.
Matt, you were in high school when this happened, but do you remember a time in American society when people were falling over themselves, fighting in the streets for toilet paper?
Yeah, I do.
Sure you do.
I will say that at one point not too long ago, I did buy a lot of canned goods because I thought something was going to happen somewhere.
Yeah, remember when toilet paper was a scarce commodity? Well, now
that was only in 2020, though.
That's right, not that long ago. A serial Guinness World Record breaker from Idaho has recaptured his neck-straining title by balancing 195 rolls of toilet paper on his forehead. David Rush, who pops up way too often in this segment, holds the most concurrent Guinness World Record titles. Yes, I understand. I control who makes this segment and who doesn't, but I couldn't talk about Richard Porn, or so I thought. So he balanced 195 rolls of toilet paper on his head. He did 101 in 2021. Wow, that's too close to the pandemic to be balancing 101 rolls of toilet paper on your head. Sorry, I'll stop editorializing. The record was later taken by someone who pushed the record to 152, leading Rush to attempt to take it back in May of 2025. The first attempt was a humbling reminder of the biggest enemy in this sport, nerves. If I feel even a hint of hesitation, the stack wobbles. That wobble creates a wave through the compressed layers and everything comes crashing down. On his second try, Rush managed to balance all 195 rolls of toilet paper on his head for the required 30 seconds. Taking back that title felt great, but there's always another layer to add, he wrote.
This guy's a loser.
Yes, we've talked about David Rush before. I believe we've called him a loser before. These are all still true, but he keeps popping up, and I keep thinking of jokes to make at this guy's expense. So,
having him detail the challenges of balancing toilet paper on his head, the waves, the ripples. Get a job. You know, get a
job.
Do something that contributes to society. You know, like. I feel like this guy actually has a lot of determination and a lot of talent that maybe he could be using.
He could put his mind to doing something constructive.
Seriously. Like this guy seems like somebody who's just a doer to do things, go and do things for the environment or like society or like be a judge or lawyer. Don't be like, I need to balance as many rolls of toilet paper on my head like a psycho. By the way, I want to give more credit to the person who has to place the toilet paper on top of one. You got to climb a pretty big ladder.
Yeah, someone's got to set that up, I guess. I never.
Why does that? That's probably his poor wife or somebody that's got to go and do that. That gets no sort of credit.
Listen up, kid. You want me to? You want the Roblox money to keep coming in? Stack this toilet paper on Daddy's head.
Kenneth goes. Odd News gets the Guinness World Record for covering stories about the Guinness World Record. Congratulations, Josh and Matt.
Thank you.
I do think that we could probably apply for that. How many Guinness World Records can we set the Guinness World Record for how many Guinness World Records we can read in a minute?
Oh, interesting.
I think that'd be a Guinness World Record. Maybe we should talk to the people who run the Guinness World Record.
Okay. That's something to file away. Yeah.
By the way, I often have to remind myself that Guinness and Guinness World Records are the same thing. The people who make the stout beer also have something. Isn't that the same company?
I cannot imagine those are the same.
I'm almost positive they are the same.
Really?
Company.
Guinness and Guinness World Records, same company?
I bet it pops up automatically.
Everybody does this, right?
They have to think this, right?
They speak aloud when they're typing into Google,
this is what we do in radio. We have to explain people what
we're looking up. Kevin,
They are not the same.
dang it.
But they share a famous history.
Oh, okay.
The Guinness Brewery created the book in 1955 to settle pub arguments, but the beer and the records brand are now entirely separate companies.
Okay, I think I get 50% there.
You were not as far off as I thought you were.
Thank you.
Matt.
That often is something that people say when they listen to Middays with Matt. What is our final odd news story?
We go to Washington, where a woman has been booked into the Pierce County Jail for attacking her mother and a neighbor before leading police on a chase in Roy, Washington. According to the sheriff's office, deputies responded to a domestic violence call on July 17th. Sad. The caller said her 42-year-old daughter was completely naked and assaulted her with a gardening handsaw. I'm going to repeat that. The caller said her 42-year-old daughter was completely naked and assaulted her with a gardening handsaw. The mother said her daughter took her phone, so she had to run to a neighbor's house to escape and call 911. While still naked, the daughter got into a pickup truck and tried to run over her mother and the neighbor. The 42-year-old missed the parties in question.
That doesn't surprise me.
She later drove off. According to the sheriff's office, she did not pull over for Roy police trying to stop her, prompting a chase. She also nearly hit an officer who tried to stop her with spike strips. The woman was eventually stopped by another police officer using a pit maneuver. Incredible. The driver was taken to a hospital with minor injuries. The 42-year-old suspect was taken into custody on multiple counts. Shockingly, none of them being drug charges. I know what you're thinking. I don't have an explanation for why.
Wow. I mean, there had to be. I was going to, my bit was going to be, can I guess all the drugs she was on? It's got to be a moment. I imagine, like, as a cop, and I wouldn't know, but I'm just hypothesizing that after chasing a crazy 42-year-old woman who was naked with a handsaw and who was running over spikes and nearly hitting your friends on the force, you got to be like, what are we doing here? You know, like it's got to be hard to fill out that paperwork and be like, people, what are we doing?
Need a desk job.
Like, it's just one of those things where it's just like, I feel like as when you're chasing the naked woman in a pickup truck across Florida, you're just kind of thinking, I don't get paid enough for this. And honestly, if they thought that, I would agree with them. That's Baymon goes, as one does. Juan Claude Van Layden goes, important question. Was she attractive? I don't know.
I don't have the answer to that.
Okay.
I'm going to guess no.
Yeah. I think that's a safe bet. I think that's a very safe bet.
Roy, Washington.
Yeah, go ahead. Look that up.
Yeah. Talk amongst the people.
Write that down. I do want to, before we get to Tim Verghese, great segment, by the way. Odd news. Thank you, Josh. Before we get into Tim Verghese here, who will join us in about 8-9 minutes on Middays with Matt, I got an email today.
An email?
I got an email from my friends at the Nebraska Alumni Association.
Oh.
Below, the first thing that pops up is cheer on the Huskers in Oregon. The ultimate Husker football experience awaits with our fan trip to Oregon in October. Get yourself to Eugene, and we'll handle the hotel, game day transportation, and pregame fun. Game tickets are available for an additional charge. Okay? So you still have to.
What are they providing?
They are providing the hotel. I'll tell you exactly what they're providing here. 3 nights in a deluxe hotel, accommodations at the Gordon Hotel. Thursday evening, private tour, welcome event, including hors d'oeuvres and drinks. Friday, a wine tour and tasting. Saturday, round trip game day transportation. A Husker Huddle pregame event. Exclusive tour souvenir. Tour branded name badge and lanyard. Husker and Elite Experiences hospitality and welcome desk. All applicable taxes and gratuities. Okay? The cost of this trip, okay? The cost of this trip, if you are going by yourself, you're an individual, is $4,099, which does not include airfare and a ticket to the game, Both would probably cost you probably another $1,000. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you were to go double, so per person, you have to pay per person $2,769. If you were to go as 4 people, it would be $2,109 per person. If you were going with children, each child costs you $1,000. Okay. So if you want to go to Oregon on a package with Nebraska Athletics, it'll cost you $4,000, not including a game ticket and not including airfare, which, by the way, on Michael Severe Twitter, you can find that game tickets could be as high as $600.
Gosh.
To have money.
If only somebody here locally like eliminated the cost of going to Oregon and like, but I could still like go to the game and stay in a hotel and have some spending money, maybe like an Uber or something as well. If only somebody like here in Nebraska would put together a package that could send Husker sports fans to the game in Eugene. It's very expensive out there. God, times are tough. Groceries, gas, subscription services. It's all the bills are overwhelming. I get it. Gosh, if only somebody would do that. Stay tuned.
That'd be a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be a phenomenal idea.
Like if it was a prize for being a dedicated, I don't know,
consumer of a
product that's been free for millennia. Not millennia, but long damn time.
That's a great idea. But while we're here, let me tell you about the Road to Wrigley Sounder contest. Chicago is calling.
That's not
Husker
what I was talking
fans
about, but it's also a very good thing.
I'm looking through the things. I don't have it.
We don't have it yet. No. Maybe we'll get it.
Maybe we will.
I don't know.
Who's to say?
You hear the inflection on my voice?
Chicago is calling. Husker fans. 1620 The Zone is teaming up with Union Bank and Trust to send one lucky Nebraska fan and a guest to Chicago to see Nebraska play Missouri at historic Wrigley Field. How to win? Listen for the Road to Wrigley Sounder, which sounds like, hey, everybody, Harry Carey here. Head to 1620zone.com and enter for your chance to win. We're giving you multiple chances to enter every day, all month long. Prizes include 2 tickets to see Nebraska volleyball at Wrigley Field, round trip airfare for 2 from Omaha to Chicago. Yes, we pay for your airfare. Isn't that a crazy idea? Husker Athletics. Well, 2-night hotel stay in downtown Chicago, $150 gift card for the winner to use for dining, Ubers, merchandising, etc. Road to Wrigley, presented by Union Bank and Trust. At UBT, people don't have your money. Your money has people. Member FDIC. Tim Verghese of Inside Nebraska and Rivals coming up next year on the 1620 Zone Radio Network.
He's from the third largest village in the world, Skokie, Illinois. Middays with Matt on 1620, The Zone.
We are in a recruiting dead period, which this next guest maybe isn't that big of a fan of because recruiting is his expertise. But I would argue that something that he does just as well is analyzing football. And I don't care. I'm saying it. Football season's begun. Wow. Panthers and the Cardinals, their rookies have reported to training camp. Tomorrow, their veterans will report to training camp. By this time, in 6 days, we will have basically the entire NFL doing training camp. Hard Knocks is going to be premiered on August 4th on a Tuesday. We're not that far away from it all going down.
What team is going to be on Hard Knocks?
Oh,
we talked about it, but we never actually.
We're not going to tell you. You can find out yourselves. Tim Verghese of Inside Nebraska and Rivals joins us. We're here, Tim. Just say it. We're here.
We are here.
Here we go. Thank you. Thank you for listening to me. You're like the first person on the station to do that. Football season has begun. Are you fired up? You fired up to actually watch football? How much are you missing it right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm at the point too where it's like, it's been, this month has been a lot of watching film and just catching up on guys to make sure, whether it's Nebraska targets, whether it's guys that I'm just watching for myself or guys that I think, hey, Nebraska could offer here in this fall, whatever that looks like. And I'm getting to the point in film watching where I'm like, okay, I need fresh film. I need to watch something new. Like I cannot keep watching. Like, and some of it's just frustrating because it's like, you watch some sophomores and you're like, oh, this is good tape, but I want to see what you do as a junior. And we're just kind of in that holding period where I have nothing new. And I'm like, I want to know more about this guy. I want to have the opportunity to be early on this guy, but I need to see a little more. And there's just no opportunity at this point to see a little more. Whereas like, even in June, we get camps. In the offseason, we get 7-on-7. We get these exposure and these opportunities to see guys compete and develop new opinions. And right now, everything's old film. It's old camp data. There's nothing really new, and that's a little frustrating.
I've officially started preview season. Where I'm now purchasing my Pick Six preview. I'm purchasing my Warren Sharp book, and I'm like, I'm glad I'm reading new material, Tim. But I know in 2 weeks I'm going to get sick of it. I'm just going to get sick of reading, and I'm just going to be like, no, I just need to watch. I need to watch the guys play.
Yeah, that's exactly what it ends up being. Like the previews is, and you feel like you're always prepared. You feel like you're always like, okay, well, I'm all ready to go on this season, and then you look up at the calendar and you're like, oh, there's still 4 weeks left till the games get going.
Tim, I'm at the point where I'm considering watching old Wisconsin and Denver Broncos tape to see Jim Leonard's defense so I can figure out whether or not it's going to work in Buffalo. That's currently where I'm at. I'm like, Buffalo doesn't have a nose, Tim. How are they going to do it? Like, this isn't healthy. Okay. I need new football in my life, but let's continue to talk about projections and how things are going to be adjusted. This is a question I've been waiting to ask you. I'm excited to do it now. Obviously the defensive line is a big talking point when it comes to Nebraska football. But I watched last year's tape and some games, and I'm like, it just seems like some guys are kind of off alignment. Where I don't know if RVP was great head up over the center. Like, it seems like sometimes like maybe if Cam Lenhart lined up a little bit more outside and was a traditional defensive end, like maybe that could be more of his forte. Do you think that the 4-2-5 and now you're going to have a 4 down front and you're going to have shifting alignments on the defensive line, do you think that might open up some opportunities for these guys to develop or have more success in ways they didn't have last season?
I think so. I've kind of held that belief since they moved over and with the additions they made. But I think most importantly, I think the addition of a Corey Brown figure leading that room, led by a defensive coordinator that knows the system inside and out. I think all of that helps. Again, you have a group where from the top down, from the defensive coordinator down, there's an understanding of what the front's supposed to be doing and what they're supposed to be doing to snap in and snap out. There were times late last year or at points even throughout the season where that wasn't the case, where, John Butler is a DB's guy. He's more familiar with that. Now you have multiple people here who know what they want from the front, know what they want to do. And I agree. I think Riley Van Poppel is better in a 4-2, in a 4-man front. I think
Cam Leonard's another one that could stand to benefit. I think Williams and Minari, honestly, is going to stand to benefit as an end in a 4-man front versus an end in a 3-man front, and what his responsibilities are going to be and what he's going to be able to do, who he's going to be matching up with compared to who he was matched up with. So where I'm at this point is we're still in wait and see mode with a lot of this D line, but I wouldn't be like, I think a lot of people expected, I'll say this much. I think a lot of people expected Riley Van Poppel to have a breakout season last fall. It may have been a fall too early. Like, I think there's a world, and there may be, I think there's some people, I mean, I've asked around, like, you know, when I'm saying asked around within the fan base, you know, there's some that are fully just dismissive of like, oh, we all bought into the Riley Van Poppel hype last year.
Yeah.
What am I supposed to expect? Well, again, like, keep in mind, like, last year was his first year really seeing serious action, kind of just thrown out there. And again, like, and so he's had a full year now of starting experience, a full year of this. Development isn't linear. I'm of the belief, I think under a Corey Brown in a 4-2-5 scheme, I think he's got a chance. I'm not going to sit here and promise he's going to break out, but I think he's got a real chance of doing it. I think he's someone we maybe talk about as a known commodity based on what we saw last year. I don't think that was the player that we're going to see over these next few seasons.
Yeah, I think just too often he would get overpowered and he would have some really bad snaps. But there also were flashes. Like, let's not act like there weren't moments where you're like, oh, that even in the Michigan game, there were moments where you're like, all right, there he is. You know, like that's what you're looking for. And I think another guy too, like, that I don't think we talk about enough. I'm not saying you. I think you talk about him plenty. But Cade Petchock is another guy too, where it's like you saw those flashes and how quick he was off the ball. And I'm now back to watching some tape and watching some old games from last year. And it just sometimes, and maybe I want to get your opinion on this. It just seemed like they were slow off the ball sometimes, the defensive line, but they just weren't quick off the snap. Is that something you noticed too?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, you wonder a little bit from a teaching standpoint where they just ask to kind of just hold the line versus a penetrate or what that looked like. But I mean, again, just from the what we saw in spring, talking to Corey Brown and hearing him talk about playing attack react up front, they are going. I mean, there's going to be an emphasis on being quick off the ball. There's going to be an emphasis on not just being quick off the ball, but making sure, hey, those first couple of steps off the line of scrimmage are moving forward. You're not holding your position. You're not, whatever that looks like. You are trying to get to the backfield, and then from there, reacting to what you're seeing up front.
Can I ask you an NFL question? It's about the city you grew up in. I believe that I'm doing my rounds, getting ready for the season. I'm reading my previews. I'm listening to the experts and all that stuff. I'm doing my own homework too. I think the Houston Texans are going to be the media darling. I think the Houston Texans are going to be the sicko NFL pick of like, look out for him. Like, look out. Like, there's a lot of conversations, a lot of whispers about people being really sold just because they improve. Like, if their offensive line is average this year and they can get a run game and take some stress off of Stroud, do you think that this is a team that can win the AFC, Tim Verghese?
Ooh, I don't know about that. I worry about the O-line.
Okay.
I worry about the O-line only because they've added names like Wyatt Teller's in there, Braden Smith's in there. It's like, okay, well, maybe we are turning the page and maybe we are getting to a point where this is going to be a competent offensive line. But the Wyatt Teller they're getting, the Braden Smith they're getting are not the Wyatt Teller and the Braden Smith everyone knows. You know what I mean? Like these are they got these guys at this point at the price they did because of who these players are and what they put up on tape to this point. So I can see, and I think my big question with this team is going to be the play of the offensive line. They continue to stack up that wide receiver room. Nico's going to be back. Tank Dell's expected to be back. They've done well. It is absurd how many Iowa State wide receivers they have on the roster. Jaden Higgins, Jalen Noel, Xavier Hutchinson. It's absurd. But their top 5 receivers, 3 of them are Iowa State guys. Yeah. But I do like the receiver room. I do like the running room. Stroud had a weird season. I'm glad he kind of took the off season away from the media circus for the most part. Like he didn't do what he did last off season. But I agree with you in the I think they're going to be the media darling because I think a lot of people are going to do well, who was it last year? It was the team with the best defense and the team that
there you
at
go.
all three levels, had answers. The Texans have answers. The Texans have answers at all three levels now. I mean, you got Will Anderson on one end, you got Daniel Hunter, and you added Katie McDonald to that defensive front to pair with Sheldon Rankins and Tommy Tagaya, who played really well last year. I thought Tommy had a good year, even if he's, technically considered probably the worst, starter on the defensive line or worst starter on the defense. But Dijal Shahir is a legit linebacker. They've got some, I just kind of trust the linebacker room under D'Amico Ryans that, whoever's out there is going to produce. Again, it also helps for those linebackers that they have that front in front of them. And the DB room's great. I mean, the DB room's really good. I think that's something where everyone talks about Derek Stingley. Kamari Lassiter is so fun to watch. Caleb Bullock's really fun to watch. They added Reed Blankenship. Jalen Petrie's in there. He's a thumper, a former Rule product out of Baylor. It's a really, really fun defense, and I think because of that, they're going to be just because. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it's them and Seattle at the very top of the defensive rankings at the end of the season, just in terms of yards allowed, total points allowed, whatever that looks like. I don't know. On paper, both those defenses, it's just really tough for me to find a weak point.
Yeah. I think that Reed Blankenship is one of the more underrated signings that happened this offseason. Like, I put him with Jalen Naylor going to Las Vegas. I put him up there with like Rashid Shaheed getting invested in from the Seattle Seahawks is widely interesting to me. I think that Jermaine Johnson trade for the Jets might have some bigger impacts, but I think better than all of that is Reed Blankenship was a dude in Philadelphia. And I think you add him to that. He's talk about a guy who's physical too. Like you add that with D'Amico Ryans, who we're kind of getting to the point where it's like we're talking about D'Amico Ryans and Mike McDonald like we talk about these sexy offensive coordinators, because they're kind of the closest iteration to what a LaFleur or an O'Connell or a Shanahan or a McVay does on the defensive end. And that interests me about Houston. It's just, can CJ get the deep ball accuracy? Can it come back a little bit? It hasn't really been there the last 2 years. And the offensive line, though, has had him running around like a chicken with his head cut off. And, it's a valid, I don't want to call it an excuse. It's a valid reason as to why he hasn't been able to be the guy like it was his rookie year.
Right. No doubt.
And I like what you brought up with them adding actual names. Like they added actual guys, I didn't know anybody on that O-line last year. I didn't.
Yeah, but the thing is just like I think a lot of people have done this. Oh, the Texans O-line is going to be better because they recognize the names on the O-line now, and I don't necessarily think it's a guarantee.
Sure, I think that is a very valid reason. Do you have anybody right now that you might be a little bit higher on in the NFL, a team that you don't think enough people are talking about?
Ooh,
on the spot.
Let me think.
Yeah,
putting me on the spot a little bit.
Can I you want me to give you some team names?
Yeah, go ahead.
Jacksonville.
I agree.
Detroit.
Yeah, they're going to be. I don't know. I don't know about Detroit. I think they're going to be good.
Okay.
I think they're going to be in the mix. It's a tough division. This.
Tough.
It's a tough division.
So tough. Are you buying? Where are you on Bo Nix stock? Buying, selling, or is he a product of having an incredible coach who knows how to manage him?
Holding because of what you said. I think he's someone who is the product of a good coach. But I was a Bo Nix guy those last few years at Oregon, especially that last year at Oregon, because I really liked the tape.
Sure.
And I even have it just to know. But I said it when he was that before his last season at Oregon. Don't be surprised if Bo Nix ends up being first, second round pick next year, because at the time everyone knew the Auburn Bo Nix, the kind of ha look at Bo Nix, But
yeah.
He's developed into a real quarterback who can stand in the pocket and deliver. He can do some stuff outside of the pocket, of course. I think he's someone who, again, he's coached by a guy who's going to push him to take the layups when he needs to. He's getting coached by a guy who is going to push him in different ways. I am very interested in what that offense looks like with all of the change. I mean, Jalen Waddle, we haven't seen him outside of Miami, and I think I kind of forget that he's there now. But what does that look like? J.K. Dobbins and RJ are that running back room. Are they going to be able to get consistent production there? But I'm a Bo Nix guy in the sense that I think he is probably the worst quarterback in the league that I think can lead a team to a Super Bowl.
Ooh, what a great topic. What a phenomenal topic that would be. I'd have to think that's great. Do you think, where do you rank him within quarterbacks in his division? I mean, is he 3 for you easily?
3 for sure. I mean,
are you okay? Yeah. Continue. Go there. Go there.
He's 3 for sure. No, he's 3 for sure.
Okay, all right. I wanted you to say Kirk Cousins is better. I wanted you to say that.
No, I don't think so. He's third. He's third right now.
Yeah, it'll be. Are you buying any of the Mike McDaniel is now the offensive coordinator for the Chargers, and that'll put him over the top? Do you buy that at all?
I don't know if the Chargers issue was the Chargers obviously had to get better offensively, needed some fresh blood just overseeing that offense. You have to let Justin Herbert loose.
Yeah.
He remains to me probably one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the league. And still, even despite I think the constant conversation around him, he has not obviously won to the level he needs to. He's not done, but like the eye test with him is unbelievable. I mean, watching him on Sundays is so special.
And just see, man, I can't get that game against Philadelphia he had with that broken hand out of my head. Like that.
Yeah.
Like if you weren't sold on him before that, I don't know how you can say anything otherwise after. Real quick before we I'll let you go. It's my last question.
Can I give you one team I think is going to make a jump?
All right, do it and that'll be it. That'll be perfect. Give me one team.
Okay, I got you. It's the Titans.
Okay.
I think they're going to make. Yeah. I think the additions on the offense are going to make life easier for Cam Ward. I think the defense is going to be sound. They're going to be in the mix. I think.
I think the Tavondre Sweat trade was very interesting to me. I like Sweat for them, but I loved the Carnell Tate pick. I loved it. I loved the idea of like, we understand we could take some interesting defensive pieces for our new defensive head coach, but we made a lot of investments in free agency on defense. Let's give us a guy that we know we can pair with our quarterback. I'll end this here. Just are you a Cam Ward guy? Are you fully in on him?
Yeah, I'm in. He's been a guy for me for a really long time. I had the chance to get around him because he trained in Houston. So he, for me, it's the physical tools on top of he's wired the right way. He's what you're looking for from the position. I think he's a guy who it's not going to take. If it hasn't happened already, it's not going to take long for him to be the voice and the leader of that locker room.
I love it. I was already all over Cam Ward by the way, producer Josh is a Titans fan and he's freaking out over here that you are all over his team. I brought this up. I agree with you. I'm kind of on par with you. And I think that it's interesting pairing Saleh and Dable together because they know their mistakes from their previous coaching jobs in New York. And it seems like they're determined not to allow that to happen again. And I think Dable is a hell of a play caller. And I think Saleh also is a really good play caller. And I was going to be calling the defense, which he didn't do in New York. And I think that's more underrated than people realize for sure. This was awesome. I can't believe we talked NFL. I'm so happy where people are teams.
Excited.
Dude, I'm fired up. I'm fired. It's wide open. I think both the NFC and the AFC are wide open. I wrote down, like I'm doing my futures thing today, like teams I'm looking for futures in the Super Bowl, a little bit of a betting segment. And I have 17 teams that I'm willing to bet to win the Super Bowl. 17 teams. It's crazy. Tim Verghese, you are the best. Thank you so much. Look forward to talking to you throughout this football season. We're here. Just say it, Tim. We are here.
We're here.
We are here on 1620 Zone. Tim Verghese, Inside Nebraska and Rivals. You appreciate you, my man. We'll talk to you next week.
I will talk soon.
Talk soon indeed. Look at that. Titans, an NFL segment, taking the leap. I think they're going to be, they're in a crappy division too.
People forget.
Not real. Actually, they might be in a better division than I'm giving them credit for. Colts have a pretty good roster. Jacksonville and Houston are both. No, they're in a good division. They're a good division. But Tennessee, I'm optimistic. But I'm not going as far as to say that they'll make the playoffs. But I could see them having a 7 to 8 win season and then having a good off season. And then they're the media darling heading into the next year. You're picking up what I'm putting down here. Like they play well enough to get you like optimistic, and then they make some big moves heading into 27, and you're like you're all over the Titans, just for them to really disappoint you in 28. That's just kind of how it happens.
Yeah.
Very rarely, it doesn't happen as much as you think, where it's just like things happen and all of a sudden it's 6 straight years of great ball. You know, it's things get real bumpy really quickly, and that's kind of, I mean, the Chiefs did that, but now things might get pretty bumpy for the Chiefs, and that's going to happen. So we'll see. I'm excited. We'll talk about our future segment in a little bit here, covering a lot of different bases, but mainly football here on Middays with Pat on the 1620 The Zone Radio Network.
Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
I'm trying to look here. So I'm reading an article from Husker Online. They're previewing the top 5 position battles. And Anthony Jones is somebody who came up. That defensive end battle will be very interesting. Williams-Nwaneri will be a part of it. I'm almost positive. So they go, Anthony Jones, like in 37 games or whatever, has had 1.5 sacks. Would you like to guess where his one full sack, where it came and who it came, where it happened and who it came against? His one full sack. Last year. This is last season. His only full sack of the season. Who did it come against?
I'll go Houston Christian.
It came against UNLV and Anthony Calandra. Anthony Jones' only full sack of last season. I saw the video on Twitter too. Came against University of Nevada, Las Vegas, and their star quarterback Anthony Calandra, who is now the quarterback for University of Nebraska. The Athletic did a ranking today of tiers in terms of stealing Happer and Schaefer's bit, by the way. Power rankings through tiers. They tiered Anthony Calandra as the as a tier 4 quarterback. He's in between the likes of Caden Hauser, DJ Lagway, and Avery Johnson, which is really funny that he's placed in that area because like those are very different quarterback stories. DJ Lagway was the only other quarterback that was ranked or that was the only quarterback ranked ahead of Dylan Raiola in the class of 2024. It did not go the way that people wanted it to at Florida, and obviously Billy Napier gets fired, and now he's the quarterback at Baylor. And then you look at Avery Johnson, the quarterback at Kansas State, whom, I mean, K-State was totally okay with Will Howard leaving and going to Ohio State to eventually win a national championship, by the way, because they were ready for Avery Johnson to be the guy. And now the most well-known thing that we talk about Avery Johnson in Kansas State is his dad and his brother getting into a fight in Ireland after they played Iowa State. And
the country will break you. Let me tell you.
Don't go to Ireland. It's a bad idea.
Somebody, UNC or TCU, is going to have a really bad time.
Can you imagine? Like, can we make like an AI thing of like Scott Frost in the Interstellar book in the bookshelves? When Trev tells him he's going to Ireland,
I'll see what I can do.
And he's just not. He's like, don't go. Please. That'd be a tough ask. That'd be a very, very tough ask. The other quarterback that he's surrounded by is Caden Hauser, who transferred from East Carolina. Very famously, Nebraska's already played Caden Hauser before in his career. Do you remember one of the worst Matt Rule losses in 2023 where they lost to Michigan State? They were one win away from a bowl game. They had some momentum going. They go to East Lansing, and Alante Brown had a very long pass against them. They ended up losing that game. I don't know why out of all the Rule losses that is the one that just bothers me the most. Because, I mean, Michigan State, first off, Michigan State hadn't won in a month, and Mel Tucker was fired already. And they had lost to MSU, who had a terrible quarterback situation. It's not like Nebraska was any better, but that was just an awful defeat. And if they win that game, they go to a bowl game that year. They go to a bowl if they beat Michigan State in East Lansing, which, by the way, Matt Rule 0-2 against interim coaches at his time in Nebraska. Yeah. Lost to Terry Smith. I forget who the MSU interim was at the time. Actually, technically 0-3 against interim coaches, because Biff Poggi was the interim coach last year against Michigan. Because Sharon Moore was serving that 2-game suspension. He didn't want to miss the Oklahoma game, so he decided to miss the Nebraska game in week 4, and Biff was the head coach, and so they lost that one. 0-3? Has he beaten another? I'm trying to think. Interim coach? Was UCLA's head coach? So no, 1-3 because they beat UCLA last year, right? And they had an interim at the time when they beat him with TJ Lateef. So now 1-3. This is a very interesting stat, by the way, from me. This is on the fly, incredible radio. So there you go. Top position battles, though, according to On3, edge, linebacker, along with running back, cornerback, and safety. Safety is something that we haven't talked about a whole lot. Cornerback, we talked about plenty. Cornerback 2 will be very interesting.
everything that I'm hearing and reading is Odom versus Jeremiah Charles, which is a fascinating competition between the two. Running back's interesting because I think regardless of what they do, they're gonna split carries. I think they're gonna go running back by committee. It's just the battle is who gets 60 to 65% of those carries, and I don't know how much of that will really be decided in camp as much as it will be decided throughout the entirety of the season. If you got a guy who's hot, you got to run the ball with him. All right, let's hit a break here and let's do our top games we want Nebraska to win this season here on 1620 The Zone.
Family Man Josh Hodson. Family Man Matt Mc... You're kidding me, right? They want me to read this? Okay. Family Man Josh Hodson. Family Man Matt McMahon. I'm sorry, there's just no way I'm going to get through this. You're listening to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
That laugh track gets better and better.
I don't know about that.
No, that like Big Bang Theory just keeps coming up everywhere on my Twitter, my YouTube shorts. It's like becoming like, remember The Office like had that run where it's like everywhere you would scroll, there would be some sort of like
I'm familiar
clip from it. Like that's not what's happening with the Big Bang Theory. I was at a Dairy Queen, or not? Yeah, I was at Dairy Queen. First time I ever went to Dairy Queen, by the way. Pretty good.
Really?
Yeah, you know, I had a lot of really good ice cream options around me. I grew up next to a Baskin Robbins, like literally down the street. There was a place called Dairy Star, which was our like local ice cream shack, and they were great. They had like dipped cones and like their own type of. I mean, it was it was packed. It's packed every year. Like the quintessential summer job in Skokie, Illinois, was working at Dairy Star. Like everybody knew somebody who worked at Dairy Star. I had that. I had an Oberweis. You ever go to an Oberweis ice cream shop? They were great too. I had so many great ice cream options that I never had been to a Dairy Queen before. Then I found out how much John Bishop loved Dairy Queen that when I was leaving Lincoln last weekend, I was like, oh, it's right here. So I went and I had a burger there, which, by the way, will it make our top 10 burgers list at 120? You can find out in a couple minutes here on Middays with Matt.
TikTok.
TikTok indeed. But yeah, I mean, how did I even get into that conversation, by the way?
How do we get anywhere on this show?
I don't know how I started talking about Dairy Queen. Anyway, we are making our top 10 burger list right now.
Some of us have already made it.
I'm through 5. And I'm like, oof.
Matt, we're doing this in 20 minutes.
It's hard. I know my options. I just don't know how I want to rank them. I don't know how I want to place them.
That's really the hard part, is getting the 10 names. And then it becomes pretty easy to rank them.
I have the 10 names. I have it, which I just don't know what order I want to put them in. We were talking about Big Bang Theory. That show was a staple of my family, and I'm ashamed to say that. I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed that was that in Castle with Nathan Fillion. Do you remember that old chestnut?
I have never seen it, but I am aware of
It's
it.
pretty good. Pretty good movie. Pretty good movie. We have talked a lot of football today. Let's continue.
A little more?
Yeah, why not? Here's our Husker prompt of the day. So we've had a lot of Husker prompts over the last couple of weeks. I'm very excited for the Husker prompt part of our media season to be done. I'm excited to get to actual football, which we will in about 10, 11, 12, 13 days, something like that. We do have teams reporting to training camp today.
You think you're going to have 12 segments a day because some rookies are at training camp?
Yes, I do.
Buddy.
Yes, I do. If anybody can do
Husker
it.
prompts.
No, if anybody can do it, it's me.
Now that, right? Okay, that is true. But as Connor told you last week, the actual hardest part of the offseason is when there are football adjacent things right in front of you, but they are so mundane that you cannot talk about them at any length.
But Daddy, I love them.
Guys in vests and shorts isn't quite. You've already exhausted all of your prompts all summer long. And then the final stretch, you think, oh, sure, there's guys in shorts playing catch in front of me. I can talk about that. And then you realize you can't actually talk about that.
But Daddy, I can fix them. I can fix them, Daddy.
Every radio host is written in their diary at the end of the night.
Daddy, I can fix it.
I can fix the calendar.
I can flip a segment on its head. So I have my job. Okay? Let's rank the 12 games in terms of how badly you want to win them from you personally. Okay? Nebraska is going to play 12 football games this season. Okay? Not all of them are made equally. Not all of them are made equally from your own personal emotions. So with your emotions, I indulge you to text us 429511620, the Prairie Flower Casino Zone hotline, or email us Equitable Bank inbox at Equitable Bank. They take banking personally, or tweet at us at the Liquid Trucking Zone Twitter feed
What are the games that emotionally you want Nebraska to win the most? It's not necessarily about beating the best opponent. It's not necessarily about getting to 8 wins. Emotionally, deep down, what game do you want them to win more than any? What is the one where you're like, you know what? Everyone knows I like magic wands. Okay? You get to wave a magic wand. You get to pick that game that they win. What are you picking? Okay, what are you selecting? I'll give you.
I'm ready. I don't know when you want me to say it.
Okay, I will cue you. You know what, Pete? When I point at you, you can talk. All right? I'll point at you.
Did you threaten to kill me?
No, I didn't. No. When I point at you, you can talk, Pete. All right?
Okay.
Josh is our new assistant general manager, everybody.
Wait, did I get promoted again?
Number 5, Washington. Just be pretty cool. That's my note I wrote down here. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool win. Yeah.
I mean, it'd probably be a ranked opponent.
Damon Williams, pretty good. Jed Fish, solid. They went to the national championship game like 3 years ago.
People forget.
You know, I just wrote down notes. Pretty cool.
I think that's a good note, man.
Pretty cool. Indiana, number 4. Where you're like, whoa, 4?
You said it's impossible for Nebraska to beat Indiana.
Okay, can I just say this real quick? I love and respect everybody at this station. Okay. Indiana has lost 2 games under Kurt Signetti. Okay. 2, my lord. 2. They lost to the 2 teams that went to the national championship that season. Those are the 2 teams they lost to. Notre Dame and Ohio State.
Notre Dame.
Okay. They lost to those 2 teams. They haven't lost to anybody else in 29 games under Kurt Signetti. If Nebraska were to be the 3rd team, you can't tell me your jaw wouldn't be on the floor. Okay. You can't tell. I mean, like Indiana, you can say what you want about, oh, they're losing the JMU guys. Oh, this, all that. Fernando Mendoza, blah, blah, blah. They don't drop, like they don't show up and not play well.
I'm
right?
just saying ACLs snap all the time.
They don't drop bad ones. Okay.
Achilles just fall out of bodies like that.
I mean,
just saying.
I've had a lot of Achilles injuries.
Be a real shame if something like that happened
When
in
you're
the
gonna-
50-yard line of Memorial Stadium.
You're gonna slash Josh Hoover's Achilles?
Not me. Not me.
Don't put it out there for interpretation. Don't encourage these people.
I will be easy to find October 10th, and it will not be at Memorial Stadium.
It'll be in the hotel, wherever the Corn Husker.
Where will I be October 10th?
Where will you be October 10th? Will you be spotting somewhere?
I will. I'll be running the stats for Iowa Western against, is this Neo? Load. Yeah.
What?
Neo.
What? Fire?
Northeast Oklahoma.
Oh, okay. I was sorry. I thought this was a ski competition.
That's
for
an
a
11
second.
a.m. game at Titan Stadium. Come on down, everyone.
I should go to a Reavers game this season.
You should.
By the way, Stroh is getting a lot of media time right now, and I effing love it. I just love waking up every morning and a different publication has a Stroh quote.
If you like a guy talking ball, he'll talk ball.
Who
with
got the first Stroh quote about Tyke Hayes, though? That guy.
Me?
You did. I'm giving you credit.
Okay, I'll take it. Thank you.
You're very well. Well, you did. That's you objectively did.
Number 3.
Oregon. Be nice because kick it to Dylan, Dom, Don, and Dayton, right?
A lot of D's over there.
I know they're that family that they like to have all the kids and all the people with the same letter. I didn't realize that until halfway through last season. Dylan, Dom, Don, and Dayton. I don't know what would be the other D name. Derek?
Is there a Denise?
No, they do have a daughter, but I don't believe her name begins with a D.
Okay.
Pretty, I mean, look, the reason why I put this 3 and not like 1 is just like, is that really going to happen? You know, like, I can't see it. Now, I have some comments here in the YouTube chat. The games emotionally, you want Nebraska to win the most, right? You get to pick your wins. Everyone goes, Iowa. Obviously, Iowa. Anything other than that is wrong. Iowa. Everyone wants to beat Iowa. I get it. Iowa's number 2. That's why I put them in front of Oregon and Indiana. Okay?
Number 2.
They're number 2.
Interesting.
Here's why. Because today I woke up to a Greg McElroy video. Okay?
You severely need to change your algorithm if you are getting Big Bang Theory clips and Greg McElroy videos.
What's wrong with that? I don't, first of all, the Big Bang Theory clips, they just hit me out of nowhere. They hit me in the top of the head. Here's where I was going with that. I was at Dairy Queen and I was eating a burger and somebody in the background was playing, like had their phone super loud, had their volume all the way up because they're just like ignorant and they don't care about the surroundings around them. And they were playing Big Bang Theory clips. And I could just hear it in the background of Sheldon and Amy and Koothrappali and Howard Wolowitz.
So
all while I'm eating my Dairy Queen burger. And I'm like, this guy behind me is the worst person in the world.
I believe you may have just stumbled upon the single most Nebraska sentence ever uttered in the history of the country, the state, the world. I was sitting at a Dairy Queen and some jackwagon was blasting Big Bang Theory clips
behind me,
all to hear.
And I couldn't, I'm not going to, but once again, a Nebraska, I'm too nice. I'm not going to turn around and say, hey, jackass.
Nebraska nice.
Turn it down. I don't want to hear that. And so my whole meal is just, by the way, I went to this Dairy Queen. I've never seen more old people at one fast food restaurant in my entire life. Is this a known thing, Dairy Queen and the olds?
Like
we're talking. I'm not kidding you.
That's a broad stroke. But yes.
Eight people, men and women, over the age of 70, easily.
What time?
This was at 1:00. I had just
gotten Sunday. You said
I had just gotten back from the Rocket Car Wash, and sprayed down my whole car. And I was like, I need a burger, and I went to Dairy Queen.
Yeah. This all tracks.
By the way, Rocket Car Wash coming to Omaha. Well, already in Omaha, but already
many.
I know, but one closer to the downtown area.
Oh,
one like really close to here.
That's what they need.
The closest one is all the way out west. I don't go out west to West Nebraska.
What if? Now, hear me out. A grocery store.
No, but the Rocket Car Wash, I like that they give you the free vacuum and the sprays and everything like that.
Okay, it's super clean for you to drive 11,000 miles to go get groceries.
I just like the free spray, Josh. All right? I like the free spray. You don't have to break it down in terms of convenience.
I'm talking about all of downtown Omaha, not just you.
I don't like going west. I don't like going to West Nebraska.
I get it.
If I go past 72nd, it better be a big deal.
That's what people who live east of 72nd say.
It better be a big deal.
It's absolutely true.
And just one of them, because like if I'm going past Exarban, like I'm going for an event. I'm going for an event. John goes, don't yell at Josh, Matt.
I'm sorry.
I have to apologize.
It's a little passion.
Number one game that I want Nebraska to win more.
Number one, more than Iowa.
Ohio State.
Okay.
I want them to beat Ohio State so badly. Because like I said, I woke up to the Greg McElroy video. This morning. And what was his topic? Nebraska hasn't been a ranked team since 2016 when they beat Oregon 25-22. They're 0-29 against ranked teams since then. They've lost however many by 8. You know, it's over. I'm just so sick and tired of this BS. I'm so sick and tired of the whole streak, them and Rutgers haven't been a ranked team. It's like, then you start thinking about Illinois in 24, and Michigan State in 21, Michigan in 21, Ohio State in 24. Like you start going, and I'm done. I'm done with this BS. I'm done with this crap. I'm done with the streak. And Ohio State has been the one that they've been closest to beating, not just the 24 game. People forget about the Samori Torre game, which also was the Jackson Smith and Jigba game, you know, like that game with, you know, that was a great team with CJ Stroud and Chris Olave. Like they were so close to beating that team. Remember the fumble happened and just sat in the middle of the field where it felt like a decade and nobody went and grabbed it. Like that game it irked me. It irked me. The Ohio State game in 24 irked me, and they're going to play OSU at home. All right. I'll say this about Ohio State. Like, I understand that people, and rightfully so, because of the trust that OSU has built and their talent and their recruitment go, hey, they're reloading. They're going to be fine. They're going to be okay. And I'm not pushing back against that. I'll just say this. They lost so much. They lost a lot from last season, especially on that defensive end. They, Caden McDonald, Sonny Styles, Arvell Reese, Caleb Downs. Like, they lost dude after dude after dude on that defense. And yes, they're still super talented, but they got a lot of guys who either haven't played a lot of football or haven't played, Big Ten football at a very high level that have to come together and play in the defensive end. The offense, I'll say this is it's not necessarily going to be the easiest task to go ahead and defeat them because of Jeremiah Smith, because of Julian Sayin, because of all of those things. At the same time, they put up a pretty valiant fight against them in 24, and they got a lot of the similar weapons, in terms of dudes who they're going to have to play against. Jeremiah Smith being one of them, but they lose Carnell Tate. I don't think they're too worried about it. A guy named Chris Henry Jr. is going to be catching the ball for them this year as well. But it's just one of those emotional things where it's like, I'm so sick and tired of the streak being talked about. I'm so sick and tired of the streak being a known thing that nationally we're always trying to cover. I just want it to end. I want this whole nightmare to be over, and I want them to do it. I don't want them. And maybe like some people are like, oh, just get out the way. I don't care who they beat. There's a part of me that's like, I don't want to beat like 24 ranked Rutgers because they're 5-0 in the beginning of the year. Like I don't want to get a cheap one. I don't want to get a cheapie. I want them to beat a legitimate power. And everyone goes, holy crap, what a win from Nebraska.
I just think it would be super demoralizing if they do manage to beat Ohio State and then just lose to Iowa the next week.
I think that's a great hypothetical question. Would you rather beat Iowa or break the ranked streak, the ranked team streak? Would you rather do that? I think the obvious answer is I would like to do both at the same time. I would like to beat Iowa but if you can't have both, would you rather the ranked team streak be broken or beat Iowa? I think that's a tough question.
I would rather beat Iowa.
I'd rather beat Iowa. Mm-hmm. But I'm so sick and tired of this streak. I'm so sick and tired of people talking about it. It's embarrassing. You're Nebraska. This shouldn't happen.
What if Maryland could get ranked by?
See, that's what I don't want. I don't want that. I don't want a cheapie against a team that's going to be 8-7-5 at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. That's what I don't want. I want them to beat a Michigan. I want them to beat an Ohio State. I want them to beat an Oregon or a Penn State, or hell, let's go to the SEC. I want them to beat an LSU or Georgia or like one. I want people to be like, holy crap, what a win from Nebraska. And they get wildly disappointed when they lose to Minnesota the next week. That was a joke. I'm not rooting for that to happen, obviously. Jacob goes, you're Nebraska. Brother, it's 2026. I know, Jacob. I know. Kenneth goes, why shouldn't this happen? It's who Nebraska is now. Of course, the non-Nebraska football people now start chiming in. I'm just saying. I'm just sick and tired of this thing.
That's why you got to beat them.
I've been so close so many times as well. We had a delivery happen during this segment.
I was handed a bag of Red Lobster. I don't know why.
Do you like Red Lobster?
Love the biscuits.
That had a lot of conviction behind it.
Who doesn't love a Cheddar Bay biscuit?
Without Red Lobster, I wouldn't be born.
Oh, yeah?
It's my parents' first date was at a Red Lobster.
Okay.
Soak that in. It's all starting to make sense now.
And you're the third kid?
And I'm the third kid.
Okay.
No, I'm the second kid.
You're the second kid.
Sorry, I had to. Sorry. No, I'm the middle child. Do I come off as the youngest child? That might be the biggest insult you could ever give to me.
You're my oldest child.
That is true. That is true. Middays with Matt here as dad and son go ahead and rank the top 10 fast food burgers. Coming up next on 1620%.
Now, back to Middays with Matt on 1620 The Zone.
Alrighty. We have not talked about this on this show yet, but it's something that I am incredibly excited about. Very proudly, we had a little bit to do with this whole thing going down, this whole shindig going down on.
Thank you.
Yes, wave it, smile and wave, boys, smile and wave.
Thank you.
August 21st, 1620 The Zone Golf Tournament. Join us for a day of competitive golf, great food, and live sports radio at Miracle Hill Golf Course, one of Omaha's premier golf courses. And then after the tournament, which begins shotgun start at 8:30, after 1620 The Zone Golf Tournament, an after party at the Phoenix, 120th and Blondo for the official after party with food, drinks, fun. You can go to 1620thezone.com right now and you can register. Now, I will say it's $400 per 4-player team. Okay. So it's $100 per person, but you're getting golf, you're getting food, you're getting drinks, you're getting an after party, you're getting a whole day of fun and excitement with us here at 1620 The Zone. Happer and Schaefer and myself, Middays with Matt, will be at the golf course doing our radio shows, and then USC will be at the Phoenix doing the after party, doing their show from the after party. So it's going to be an absolute blast. And bring your A game to the par 3, because you are going to have a chance to take home a $10,000 for a hole-in-one, which is proudly sponsored by Langfelt Overhead Doors. So it says par 3s. So you're going to get multiple shots here. It seems like at the par 3s, you get a hole-in-one, you get $10,000. You can register right now at 1620thezone.com, sponsored by Cutwater and T-Box, which they have a location. We broadcast there on Sportsmanlike Conduct. T-Box West in Omaha, 114th and Dodge. Awesome place to go and get your game right. I've been doing that a lot this golf season. So sponsored by Cutwater and T-Box, 1620thezone.com to register for the Zone Golf Tournament. Incredible stuff. Incredible stuff. Cannot wait for that. Do you know what's even more incredible? What's even more incredible?
The incredible edible egg.
No.
Oh.
Top 10 burgers. I love burgers. I love fast food burgers. I love cheeseburgers. I love In-N-Out. Love Whataburger. I've never had In-N-Out. I don't know why I just said that. But we are going to be doing our top 10 burgers. Top 10 fast food burgers.
Fast food burgers.
Okay, so you can't be like, oh, why didn't you do local? No. Top 10 fast food burgers. Josh Hodson, please begin here.
I begin with Dairy Queen at number 10. It's
wow.
You want one? They got one. It's good enough.
I have it at number 9. I've only had it once. Okay, I've only had it once.
And somebody was blasting Big Bang Theory in the background.
I only had it once. I put at my number 10, Five Guys. Here's why. Okay, here's why I have Five Guys at number 10. Because it's a great burger. From a burger quality standpoint, I'd probably put it 5. Okay, but the reason I put it 10 is it's too damn expensive. Okay, it's too damn expensive. It's a great burger,
but they're giving you an entire brown paper bag.
It's too much
fries.
It's too much money for a fast casual burger. Okay,
that's correct, Matt.
If we're going off of I'm going off of kind of whole experience here, and all of these burgers are fairly cheap, except for this one where it's like, I really like Five Guys. I probably go once a year because you might as well just go to a sit down restaurant and have like a proper meal. So that's why I have Five Guys at 10. The quality of burger is probably like 4 or 5, but the actual full thing is meh. So number 9 is Dairy Queen for you. For me, I agree with that. That's where I have it on my list. Your number 9 burger is what?
My number 9 burger, Steak and Shake.
So I did not put it on here. I don't really qualify it as a fast food burger because I feel like you have to sit down for a while and eat it. Still a great burger though. Like steak burgers, I don't have a lot of them. I'm a fan of them.
I like it because it's to my knowledge. We don't have one like right here in Omaha proper, so it's kind of a little drive. Like, ooh, I'm doing something fun and special.
Well, they only had one in the entire state of Nebraska, and it was at the Nebraska Student Union. And I believe since I've graduated, that's been shut down. Now, here's the thing about the Steak and Shake at the Nebraska Student Union. It was never open. It was never, like, very rarely could you actually go in there. The service was terrible. They weren't invested. Now, I know it's not a burger, but they had a Frisco patty melt. Okay?
Hello.
Pretty damn good, man. Pretty damn good. On that marble rye bread. Marble rye bread. Never have enough of it. Seriously. Number 8 for you, Josh Odds.
Wendy's, a burger that would have been much higher a few years ago.
Wow. I wasn't. I thought you would have it higher. I thought I was being low on Wendy's, if I'm being honest.
Okay.
I have Sonic at 8.
Okay.
I have Wendy's at 7. I like it. I just feel like, I don't know. I just like a Dave single. I can't really have anything else there. Like the Baconator's fine.
It's a little much.
The double, yes, I agree. I get the double cheeseburger. It's just a lot of beef. You know, it's a lot of beef on the burger.
Love a lot of beef.
Some people do. I have Wendy's at 7. Who do you have at 7?
I have Five Guys at 7.
Okay, that's fine.
I have the same take as you, but I like that it's a little bit bigger of a burger than.
Number 6 could be controversial here. I have Burger King.
Okay, I don't have them on my list.
I love Burger King.
They don't rank for me.
I like BK. I think I think you fall in love with the Whopper. You fall in love with the Whopper Jr. Fall in love. Have you ever had the Bacon King from Burger King?
I have not.
It's a great burger.
Okay.
Another one of those where you think Wendy's is heavy. Burger King is pretty heavy.
Okay.
But the single burger at BK, I just feel like because McDonald's does it so well, spoiler alert, it's just one of those things where I don't think it gets enough love. I love a BK single burger. Number 6 for you, Josh.
Number 6 for me is Sonic.
Nice.
Sneaky good.
Sneaky good.
Little burger.
See, yes. I've only had it twice. It was number 8 on my list. You know, just kind of right here, right? You know, just right here, handheld, right in front of your face. I have no problem with it. Have you ever had the hot dogs at Sonic? Don't. Just don't.
Okay.
Just don't. Just don't do that.
I get the corn dog at Sonic.
Number 6 for me is McDonald's. And that might be a little low for people.
Now, are you talking just a cheeseburger?
I'm mainly going off of cheeseburger.
Okay, not like quarter pounder.
No. If we're talking about like best menus, I put McDonald's probably number 1.
Okay.
If we're doing best burger menus.
Yeah.
Because I think Culver's would be a pretty close competitor for best burger menus as well. But they don't have as much variety as McDonald's does. I think Wendy's probably has a pretty damn good burger menu if you're into it. A lot of different options. McDonald's single cheeseburger number 6. And I'll just tell you why. I love my top 5. I love my top 5.
Ooh, okay.
I just love my top 5 so much where it's like, this is where I got it. Like, to me, if we're doing power rankings through tiers, this is the end of tier 3 and the beginning of tier 2. And then there's 2 burgers in tier 1. McDonald's at my number 6. Your number 5.
McDonald's.
Yeah.
Excellent segue.
It's a really good single cheeseburger. Mm-hmm. But it's just like when we're talking about who's amping it up better, who's got, honestly, you start getting into gimmick time. Mm-hmm. You know, you start getting gimmicky with some of these burgers. Like
McDonald's, the burger of your youth, right?
Seriously.
You feel nostalgic for it. Like you know, as a culinary item, it probably doesn't rank as high as we're ranking it. But
when it's late at night and you might have had a couple libations,
some people are doing that.
Do you think of any other burger you want to eat other than McDonald's?
Nope.
That's just kind of what it is. So that's number 6 for me, number 5 for you. All right, this one is a little regional, but I had it growing up and I loved it. I grew up not too far away from it. I don't know if you've ever heard of it. M Burger. Have you ever been to an M Burger?
I don't think so.
They had the best root beer floats ever growing up. And they had an awesome just regular cheeseburger.
No,
it was pretty
I've not
great.
had this before.
It's a pretty, and now I'll say this, it came and it went pretty quickly Okay.
Oh, R.I.P.
It was around for about like 5 years, and then it kind of just disappeared. But M Burger, if you're ever in an opportunity to have it, I absolutely love it. Your number 5 was wait, this is my number 4. What was your number 4?
My number 4, also a local sort of item that people are fond of. I got Broncos at number 4. You forgot to put Broncos on your list.
I forgot to put Broncos on my list.
Mm-hmm. I almost did. And
team
was
clap.
proud that I remember.
Team clap for Josh Johnson.
That's me. That was me.
Yeah, that was my fault. Dang it. I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in myself.
It's okay. You said you loved your top 5.
Number
Focus on the positive.
My number 3. Culver's.
Mm-hmm.
Can't beat it.
I mean, it's not your number 1, so it can be beaten. I hear what you're saying. It's a very good burger.
You're number 3.
I have Freddy's.
See, another one. I've never had it, but I pass by it all the time. Hardee's was also almost on this list.
It's like a steak burger. It's a smash burger at the same time. It has a time and a place.
It does.
And when you're ready for that, it's there for you. It doesn't want to be your favorite burger or the burger you get.
That's a good point.
Every weekend. It wants to be the, hey, you want something different? I'm here. I'm Freddy.
Okay. By the way, I did do a little miscounting here. McDonald's was my number 5. M Burger was my number 4. Culver's was my number 3.
Okay.
Your number 2 burger is what, Josh Hudson?
Culver's.
Great job. Now, I will say, I think I prefer the Culver's Mushroom Swiss Burger over a regular Culver's burger. I did have the Culver's Pub Burger, which came with Colby Jack cheese and fried onions, and it was kind of underwhelming. And it just made me not go back to Culver's as much. But I'll just say, like, if we're talking like, we did another top 10 of best burger meals, right? Single Culver's burger with cheese curds and a root beer has got to be in my top 3. I don't think I've ever had Culver's fries before.
Oh, really?
I think every single time I've been to a Culver's, I've gotten the cheese curds.
It's a very solid fry, but yeah, I get it. They have some appealing side items.
Also, too, the thing about Culver's cheese curds is not only is it just like, oh, cheese curds, that's fun. I don't have cheese curds a lot. I don't think too many people do them better. Like, I'll go to restaurants and I'll get cheese curds as an appetizer, and they don't do it as well as Culver's does.
Well, they got that Wisconsin cheese.
I've been to Erin Hills, which is a golf course in Wisconsin for the U.S. Open, and I had a U.S. Open cheese curd appetizer. It was not as good as Culver's. Okay, I've had other Wisconsin cheese curds in my life. I can't do it better than Culver's, but their single cheeseburger is also awesome. That's your number 2. My number 2 is Shake Shack.
Shake Shack.
I love Shake Shack.
Mm-hmm.
Something about that Shack sauce. You know what I'm saying? I know it's like another version of McDonald's, like the Thousand Island and everything like that, but that Shack sauce, and then they make their burger on a potato bun, and they keep that hinge. They keep the hinge between the buns, and so because because the hinge of the bun stays attached, do you know what it catches? It catches those juices. It can, like, when the meat starts dripping out juices, that potato bun, it's a perfect little vessel to just become a just kind of not soggy, but still flavorful impact of just meat juice that I just love eating. Shake Shack also too. They got great tomatoes at Shake Shack. It's a very important distinction. I think your number 1 and my number 1 is the same. I think it's the same.
I would guess so. Yes.
Okay.
And remember, these are fast food burgers.
Food burgers.
I know Kenneth is a little concerned about our palates.
No, this is fast food,
Fast
food. 3, 2, 1. Runza. It's so good. It's so good.
It is that perfect combination of like thicker than the rest of the guys' fast food burgers, and
it's like the bun
quality,
too.
Yeah.
It's the bun. There's something about that bun, and it almost feels like a restaurant quality burger. And I'll say this about the Runza, just the service here. They wrap that burger, right? And it almost becomes like a perfect insulary to the burger. So when you unwrap it, that cheese is like perfectly melted. And it's like dripping, like it's got that little hang, like it's hanging off. It's hanging around.
No,
hanging around.
It was hanging around, but they wrapped it so tight that it hugs the rest of the burger.
And then you want to get crazy with it?
Why not?
You take a couple bites, and you start dipping it into that ranch. You start just dipping it slightly in that ranch, and you got that ranch flavor. Oh,
what a real Nebraskan you are.
This isn't a bit. This isn't me like, pampering to people. I tell people back in Chicago, I go, look, you can talk all you want about these fast food burgers. Best burger you're going to have fast food is Runza. I tell people about Runza Ranch. People don't even know what they're missing. Runza Ranch, second greatest ranch I've ever had in my life.
Number one.
Red Robin.
Oh, really?
When you go to Red Robin, I'm telling you right now, get that ranch.
Okay.
Red Robin Ranch, undefeated. Same thing with the steak seasoning at Red Robin. It's incredible. All right, so our top 10. Runza, Shake Shack, Culver's, M Burger, McDonald's, BK, Wendy's, Sonic, DQ, and Five Guys for me. Josh Watson, your top 10 was?
My top 10 was going 10-1. Dairy Queen, Steak and Shake, Wendy's, Five Guys, Sonic, McDonald's, Broncos, Freddy's, Culver's, Runza.
Great job. Great job, everybody.
Pretty good.
Great job, everybody. Let's do what to watch and dog of the day coming up next. Stibbs is a psycho.
Middays with Matt.
You know, I was so bored with nothing that was on. I should have watched the Cubs game. I don't know why I didn't. I'm such a fan.
I mean, it didn't go the way you would have liked it
No,
to.
well, I woke up this morning and I saw that there was an article that Tigers are treating this series like it's the World Series, so they don't have to trade Scooble. And I was like, oh, that means that they probably lost, which they did 8-6. I almost watched Monday Night Raw. That's how desperate I am to have things on TV.
Well,
seriously,
well,
it's getting that bad. What are we watching
I
tonight?
have terrible news for you.
Are you going to say to watch Dark Side of the Ring tonight?
No, this might be like the worst night of TV
Jeez.
of the summer.
Oh my God.
The Dodgers play the Phillies. That's pretty good. 5:40 on TBS. It's not on TV, but I do find it interesting that the Boston Red Sox, a very storied franchise in Major League Baseball, go for a franchise record 15th win in a row. They currently hold the final AL wildcard spot if the season were to end today. Remember them, the tire fire of the American League?
I think more teams should fire their managers.
Apparently.
It works for the Sox. It's working for the Phillies. Maybe tired and wired. Wired might be firing your coach too early.
Orioles, Red Sox at 6 o'clock tonight. It's not on national TV, but it is interesting. MLB Network at 9 o'clock. The Reds take on Stibbs' Mariners. Tonight, what's on ESPN? Well, I'll tell you.
Okay.
It's a replay of the ESPYs.
Get out of here. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding. Or a replay of the World Series of Poker.
I'll take a replay of the WSP. Who's in it? Helmuth, Negreanu?
I don't know what year it is. It was probably the most recent one.
Okay. That sucks.
Woof.
That sucks.
Okay. Oh, no, it did that thing again.
All right, folks, let's talk right now. I'm going to kill your bookmaker. I'm going to rip his throat out. I will blow this man out. I will step on his throat until the man chokes. Let me tell you how. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. Dog. Winners. I'm on a roll.
Dude, you got to love dogs. Right?
I'd like to mention that Dog of the Day did win yesterday.
Another one.
The White Sox won their game. Very impressive stuff. They defeated the Texas Rangers. I'm not doubling down on the Sox. They are playing. They are a dog tonight against Kumar Rocker. It's a Tank Tuesday. Everybody knows on Tuesdays I pick tanks. Let's do Pete Alonso to hit a home run tonight against Eduardo Rivera, 610, Orioles at Red Sox, plus 426 for the Polar Bear to hit a home run against the Sox. No ma. So that's what we're going to pick today. Hopefully we can keep it rolling here on Dog of the Day. Going to keep it rolling here on 1620 Zone as a crossover with USC is next here. Wrapping up Middays with Matt.